We finally made it. Who's playing music? Hey, you're doing intro songs and shit. But yeah, hello, welcome to the WrestlePurists podcast. Please subscribe and like before you do anything. I'm joined today by Backup Hangman, Anna, and the debuting Big AO. And yeah, we're gonna do a Dynamite review, go over some news, and just we're just gonna talk and see what happens, I guess. I'll start with you, Backup. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm happy to be here. It's been a very eventful past few days.
Yes.
And so I'm happy to finally be on the podcast and just talk about what's been going on in the world of wrestling because I have a lot to say. I have a lot of opinions on everything that's been going on. Dynamite was extremely eventful, and I'm looking forward to kind of getting into it with my two friends, Monty and Anna, and my mortal enemy, Big AO, who is making his big introduction today. So I hope everybody gives AO a warm welcome. I hope I have an excuse to fire him after his first appearance today. And I'm looking forward to getting into a really big time AEW show. So
Yeah,
there you go.
Definitely. I'll go to you next, Anna. How are you doing? Back again. I think it's your second week in a row now.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm so excited. I had no idea it would be call up again, like so soon.
Yeah.
So excited. Thank you.
You made a good impression, you know. People love you. So yeah. Happy days.
Again. Yeah. WrestlePurists is doing like the AEW thing, just debuts every single week.
Yeah,
right. Exactly.
But yeah,
I'm like CM Punk. Like, you're not gonna top me. You could try.
Oh yeah, we'll get to it. Of course, we've got debuting after much demand from a good few people. It's fair to say we finally have the Big AO. We finally got the balls to have him on. Hopefully, you don't get us taken off air. You know, he's here, man. How you doing, bro?
By popular fucking demand, Big AO's in the fucking spot. You know what I mean? I was gonna come out earlier, but I don't really want to talk to this nigga Hangman for a couple hours. Y'all know how long-winded he is and shit. But, you know, I'm here. You know, no agendas. You know me. I'm just an unbiased guy. I just all facts, no agendas ever.
Okay.
I just tell like it is, straight shooter.
But yeah, man. A few comments welcoming Big AO. Big AO about the generation. We got it with Anna last week, man. We're debuting big stars.
Niggas like, oh my god, I'm sorry. AO's gonna change the game. This is crazy. Big AO season. Oh my god.
Hey.
Big AO season. That's crazy.
Big
AO gotta go crazy or he's done. Oh, listen. I need one excuse, bro. One excuse, and I'm ripping the board, bro. I'm saying put numbers on the board. Listen, we're gonna give you some burn, man. You know what I'm saying? I'll give you a couple touches. You know what I'm saying? We'll see what you do with the ball. You know what I'm saying? See what you do. You feel me? But yeah, man, Big AO, it's his debut. If you're familiar with just our Twitter circle, you've seen him before. But this is his debut live on the WrestlePurists podcast. A very opinionated young man he is, and in some would say very controversial, but we are happy to have him. And so I have no idea what's going to happen here. This wasn't particularly planned heavily because we just kind of wing things, the professionals we are. You know what I mean? So I really don't know what to expect except a fun podcast as always. So I guess with that said, Monty, take us through the news, man. What we got to talk about? What's going on?
So there's been quite a bit of Sasha Banks and Naomi rumors circulating. Their names have pretty much never left the news ever since they walked out on WWE not too long ago. So, you know, it's been normal for them to come up. But obviously now with Triple H in charge of creative and head of talent relations, etc., Vince is out. You know, he had to resign. I don't think there's any point in calling it a retirement now. You know, he had to go. So with Vince out the picture, obviously there's been a lot more speculation about Sasha and Naomi potentially warming to the idea of, you know, potentially going back to WWE and resolving their differences. And Dave Meltzer kind of speculated on this on, I believe it was a Sports Illustrated podcast, saying that the quote is, "They are gone. The last I heard was that there would be attempts to be made to reconcile, especially with Vince gone." So it's up in the air. I don't think there's any definite just yet. So even still after all this time, we still have not really the greatest idea of where either of them are going to end up at this point, to be honest. So, it's probably worth bringing it up on here because, of course, two massive names, especially Sasha. And, like I said, it's kind of a fun thing to speculate about because we have no idea at this point where they're going to end up, to be honest. So I'll start with you, Back Up Hangman. What's your kind of take on this whole Sasha Naomi situation now that Triple H and he's in charge, Vince is gone, John Laurinaitis is gone, Triple H back head of creative, etc., etc.
Have you guys ever seen the music video Anaconda by Nicki Minaj? Are you guys familiar with this music video? Because if you
He's
are,
starting.
if you are,
where are you taking us right now?
Ayo, when you picture this video, what do you remember from this video the most?
A whole lot of twerking.
A lot of twerking, right? It's unreal, right? Just galactic, galaxy busting twerking. What you're gonna see in Stanford in the next few days is Paul Levesque is going to loosen his hips as much as he can and just twerk his ass off and do whatever needs to be done to get Sasha Banks to come back to his company. Vince McMahon has the ego and he doesn't like losing and he doesn't like looking bad. It's why he's petty and why he does what he does on television. And Triple H, he has an ego of his own, but he understands the game he's playing and he knows the seriousness and magnitude of what it means to lose Sasha Banks and what it means to have her as an asset to his product. And so ultimately my belief is that he's going to bend the knee and offer her whatever she wants, whatever form of a deal she wants to get her back under his umbrella in some form, whether that means she can do A, B, and C with Hollywood or other promotions or what. I firmly believe that on his end, he's going to essentially offer her the world the way she wants. And it's going to be up to her to decide whether she wants to go for it. And if she doesn't, then that's just proof that she really is just kind of over it. And if she does take it, then it means that, she was willing to stay in the company. It's just she didn't like the system how it was. So what I anticipate is Triple H twerking really, 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 really hard. Like I'm talking like more than any promoter has ever done on a mainstream stage to sign one of the greatest women's wrestlers I've ever seen. That obviously extends to Trinity Fatu, Naomi. And so, yeah, I anticipate him pulling all the stops to make that happen.
Yeah, man. Pretty much agree with most of what you said. Maybe not the way that you expressed it, but I think you make a pretty clear point. And it would be pretty surprising if it wasn't the case, to be honest, at this point, because what you mentioned, Triple H, you would assume he's pretty aware of how big of a deal Sasha Banks leaving WWE is / could be. I'll go to you next, Anna. What's your kind of take on the whole Sasha Naomi situation now?
No, I think that they should twerk their asses off for them too, especially because honestly, they're the biggest thing. It's like you said, Monty. Since they left the company, there have been the trending topics like every day. Everyone has been talking about them every single day. It would be so stupid if they didn't do it. They just have to do it. Sasha's the biggest name. I think the biggest women's name that company has ever seen. I think she's above everyone else. Just really, really above. So I think it would be really stupid. They just have to try. But I don't know if Sasha will want to go back, honestly, because we don't know how much the culture will change and all of that. If Triple H being head of creative creates like a huge change, like CM Punk was saying that at Comic-Con that he has no idea if it'll really change or something like that. I don't know if you saw that. But yeah, they should really try to get them back because it would be the stupidest thing in the world to let them go just like that without even trying. And we know that Vince is that stupid, but I trust Paul a little bit more. Just a little bit more. Yeah.
Yeah. No, you know what you said. Yeah, we'll go to you now.
I think y'all forget who Hunter Hearst Helmsley is. I think y'all forget how big this nigga's ego is. The same man who refused to have any WrestleMania matches like shorter than 30 minutes. Like the same man who told Booker T that he's here to shuck and jive for him, and he has his nappy hair. The same man who was out there on Monday Night Raw in blackface. You know, the same man. Like Booker T has never appeared to like black people. He's not about. I don't think he's gonna dance for Sasha and Naomi. I don't think it's gonna happen because you know it's a slippery. He's brand new, right? He's brand new. It's a slippery slope. It's like, all right, well, Naomi is obviously one of the most over people in the entire company, right? But she's also one of the least pushed. Like this, a tag team championship run in WWE. Think about that. Is the most pushed she's ever been in like the last 5 years, and the tag run is literally nothing in WWE. They put those belts on anybody. So like they're not. So if they do that for her, then what do they have to do for Walter if he's upset? What do they have to do for Ricochet if he's upset? What do they have to do for Drew McIntyre if he's upset? What do they have to do for Roman Reigns? You know what I'm saying? I think Triple H is gonna try to put his foot down. Who needs to twerk is this nigga Tony Khan. He needs to get on his Meg Thee Stallion shit.
Meg Thee Stallion.
That nigga Tony Khan needs to twerk so well that they start calling it Tony Khan knees instead of Megan.
Oh my god,
that's who needs because that would completely change the company because that would completely change the women's division. Like Sasha Banks is someone who could outdraw MJF in the quarter hours. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Pretty much almost anybody. She'd be right up there with Mox and CM Punk. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so like, that's who really needs to start twerking.
100%. The Sasha thing is. Now go ahead.
I was gonna say just the visual of me trying to picture Tony Khan twerking, like I feel like if he even tried, he'd get scoliosis and a torn MCL. So he should probably not.
Now you put that visual in my head, and I just oh my god,
it's crazy. Yeah, I don't see that working.
Back brace.
Yeah, he's probably gonna fracture his leg or something. You know,
it's what he needs to be doing though, man.
Just twerking for big stars, right? I mean, he does. I mean,
Sasha Banks is a crazy one because I was speaking to a friend about it earlier. So you know I'm pretty on record saying I'm not the biggest fan of the AEW women's division. I've got my concerns about it, to say the least. But in terms of drawing me like back in and getting me like legitimately interested and hopeful about the progress of the division, there's two things that stick out to me. One of them is Jade Cargill's title reign when she eventually gets it, world title reign that is obviously, and the potential signing of Sasha Banks. So yeah, it'd be a huge deal for me personally, and obviously a huge deal like everywhere. So
in terms of just improving the division and stuff, right?
Yeah, definitely, and just kind of giving me the hope that it will get the focus that I think it's not getting at the moment. You know, because like Jade is obviously one of their most pushed stars, and her world title reign, I think they're going to want to make like a good impression with it. You know, and obviously it'll be really important for Jade, and just Jade as world champion is just gas. You know, like he's just hype anyway. So, you know, there's that. And obviously Sasha Banks, like she isn't going to come into a women's division that's not going to be, you know, gets the focus that she wants on it. Like she should be treated like CM Punk when he came in. You know,
absolutely,
100%. She's that level.
Brought up the quarter hours, right? Because the women are always going to get that death slot, so to speak, right? The right before the main event. But then Sasha, they could always be like the Sasha Banks fucking quarter power hour, you know what I mean? Like how Cody Rhodes always got his 15 minutes when he was available. How CM Punk always gets his 15 minutes. How MJF always gets his 15 minutes. Sasha Banks would always get her 15 minutes. Like she could open up the show and drive numbers. So that's why Tony really needs to twerk.
When's AEW next in? Is it Boston? Sasha Banks territory.
They were just
in there. See, if they weren't just in there and they were heading there, like she's genuinely worth doing the whole like
finding her
thing. You know what I mean? Like build the whole show around like the potential of her showing up. Like that is how big the star we're talking.
Absolutely.
She should definitely be the turning point. Yeah, because that division is in the mud. Like it's done. I'm not gonna say that I have given up on the women's division, but I'm really close to. If it's not just holding things together, I would be completely done by it. So
the way I feel it's like outside of Jade and like the people involved with Jade, it just feels like it doesn't matter. Kind of like because it's not even bearing the town. It just kind of is what it is at this point. Like I don't even have the energy to like point fingers or specify why it is where we're at. But it's almost like WWE's most recent cruiserweight division when they would put it on Raw. Like, remember when they would change the ropes to purple and it would just be like that alien thing on the show for 10 minutes, and then it's like, all right, back to Raw anyway. You know what I mean? Like, and we'll get into it a little bit, like even with this show, but it kind of just comes on because like it's like an obligation, and it just kind of comes and goes, and like it doesn't really matter, and like again, I'm past the point of pointing fingers and saying why and screaming. It just kind of is what it is. But that is definitely where I feel we were at with the division outside of certain people.
Compare the divisions to 05 is
it's wild. It's wild. It's wild.
I think honestly, like you can go around in circles with it, and for me, not too long ago, I was like, it would really like frustrate me, and I'd still kind of like have hope it would get better eventually. And like you can point out things, whether that's match time, whether that's them going in the death slot before the main event, whether that's them not getting proper segments, whether that's just whatever it is. There's a list of things that you can pick out if you want. But I think what it boils down to is pretty simple, and it's just kind of like a lack of focus for me. I'm not truly convinced they're. I doubt very much that Tony Khan's fandom was rooted in companies that done a lot of stuff with women. So like you said, it kind of does feel like almost like an obligation. The way that they do it at the moment. So, like I said, for me, ultimately, it's kind of simple. It's just like a lack of focus. And like I said, Jay Cargill with a world title could potentially put the focus back on it. I have no interest in Britt Baker having a world title run again anytime soon. But obviously, we know that Tony likes her and puts focus on her, etc. And obviously, the Sasha Banks thing. The Sasha Banks thing would be a game changer.
I saw someone made like an all-out card based on like where they think things are going. Mm-hmm. And their women's title match was Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker.
Nasty.
I swear to God,
I would have to kill myself.
I can't take this anymore. My eyes bulged out. I was like, ain't no way, bro. Like that ass was about to hit one of you guys. I'm like, did I miss a promo on Dark? Did I miss is this actually happening? Like, what's going on here? And I'm telling y'all, bro, if that actually happens, what are we doing here? Like, what are we doing here?
And coming from someone who actually used to really enjoy Britt Baker a lot, like during the heel turn, during the whole pandemic, I really liked Britt Baker. But not only has she gotten like much worse in the ring, her promos have regressed so much, and no one's talking about how bad her promos are now. It's literally just it's literally just you're bad. I'm great. Like whatever people are saying on Reddit about their whatever. Oh, you wrestle in basements. Oh, you are sandbag. Oh, you do this. You do that. You are curtain jerking in the Fed or whatever. And just like the one job that Britt Baker was supposed to do with this title reign was to make another star in Thunder Rosa, right? Mm-hmm. And she has absolutely not done that. And not only has she not made another star in Thunder Rosa, she's trying to like take away from her even more by like playing into the whole sandbagging thing, by constantly bringing up how bad her promos are, bringing a literal fucking sandbag on television, liking the thing, liking the voice. But you brought a literal sandbag on television.
A literal sandbag.
Like Britt Baker does not give a fuck about the division at all. Like she just cares about Britt Baker.
It's wild, and you know what it reminds me of, AL? You know how like I mean, I don't know if you were watching or not, but like during the pandemic on SmackDown, in the Thunderdome, Roman Reigns, like he just started out the Tribal Chief stuff, and people were really excited about it, and like his story had like a lot of like depth to it, and the segments had like stuff happening story wise. And it felt like to me that once they went back to touring in front of fans, he basically had to do a simplified version of his character that he could just kind of do in every arena. And so that basically meant like just kind of boiling it down to just like the stereotype of what his character is, where it's just like insert city, acknowledge me, throw the ones up, the catchphrases, and then you get out. And it's kind of the same thing with Britt, I think, where it's like she doesn't have storylines anymore. She just kind of walks around being like a parody of Britt, and like it's not interesting.
But Roman still manages to go off from time to time, like on Raw.
Yeah, he does.
Britt,
Roman clears Britt. Roman clears Britt, so I'm not even gonna argue.
Absolutely. She just opens Twitter, see what people are talking about, and then go live and say those things. But the thing is that people on Twitter aren't smart. You shouldn't be getting ideas from them,
No, you shouldn't. Yeah, it's
really, she's just lazy. She's just gotten really, really lazy. Yeah.
Monty, before we go into Dynamite, because I know you guys got into some of this yesterday, but the real niggas didn't get into it. You know what I'm saying? So me and AO are here. I'm gonna start it with AO, and then we'll kind of just go around, I guess, a little bit.
Yeah, of course.
So AO, as I reported yesterday for WrestlePurists, Paul Levesque, nigga, I'm a fucking reporter, nigga. Paul Levesque, he got Paul Heyman to be his right-hand man at the tryouts yesterday in Nashville for SummerSlam weekend. And he, the report was just that they have a good relationship. Heyman was there with Triple H, basically being his confidant, kind of getting things going with the tryout. And Bruce Pritchard wasn't there. And this wasn't a part of my report, but the expectation based on what the feeling I was given was just essentially that you can expect Paul in a spot of heavy creative influence very soon and imminently. And even furthermore, Brian Alvarez today basically said that like they're going back to indie guys. They're going to be going back to indie guys. Right. So with all that kind of said, and the reality that we're entering the Triple H, Paul Heyman era of WWE, and you couple that with the Fightful report about wrestlers in AEW who used to work with Triple H, kind of commenting on this, and Tony Khan's responses. I guess my general question to you is just, what do you make of the landscape of wrestling and how it's changing? What do you anticipate? What do you see happening? How do you feel about it? What does it mean for the business?
So you mean to tell me that it was Triple H, right? And
yes.
Who was the other person? It was Paul Heyman, Paulie
at the tryouts. Yes, running the tryout. Yes, Big E was there. Bruce Pritchard was not there.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, this could be really bad for AEW. I'm not gonna lie, bro. Like, it's just before, when it was like a Venn diagram before. Like it was like AEW was blue, WWE was red. There wasn't much intersection. That's why we could get the Adam Coles, we could get the Kyle O'Reillys, we thought that Sammy and Steen were gonna jump over. We could get people like that who were just like, let me not even try to fuck with WWE right now. They're not looking for me. They're looking for Roman Reigns. They're looking for Drew McIntyre. They're looking for Gunther. They're looking for look at what they did to Pete Dunne. They made him a comedy character because nobody's gonna take him seriously on the main roster. And now with everything changing, it's just like WWE got more money than them. They got more resources, and now they want their talent pool. They want the indie guys, right? And it's just it could get really ugly for Tony Khan if he's not careful. That's what you expected me to say, right, nigga? Fuck all that, bro. That nigga Tony Khan, he got something on his bitch ass, nigga. He beat his ass once already. Bro, that nigga Hunter is an industry plant booker. He has a WWE machine behind his back, right, nigga? He has a WWE machine behind his back. Thought he was like, Pissant T-shirt company this, Pissant T-shirt company that, nigga. What happened, nigga? Tony Khan of the Elite ran down on that nigga. What the fuck are you talking about? They had the Elite, they had Knox, and they had Jericho. Slap that nigga, bro. Shit ain't no fucking competition. They about to do this shit again, my nigga. The fuck? What is Paul Heyman gonna do? Niggas is talking about, oh my God, Paulie, we're in trouble now. What's he gonna do? Write more cuck storylines? Write more cuck storylines? Come on, bro. We gonna bring back Bobby Lashley's sisters? That shit on my fucking face, nigga. You know what the fuck going on, nigga? Tony Khan gonna bust their ass again.
Oh my God.
Ain't no intersection.
Wait. Hey, yo, listen. I'm not saying you're right or wrong. What I will say is AEW was putting points on NXT's head when they had pay-per-views with Joey Janela versus Shawn Spears. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying, bro.
You know, so,
Joey Janela's not going to main event any more pay-per-views, bro. It's not happening. Joey's gone.
And he's not going to
up his ass now.
Oh my God. Yeah, man. Jesus Christ.
See, I'm talking about the main event now.
Yeah. Very interesting. Monty, I tweeted it yesterday, man. You know, Tony's going up against his booking sensei and the man that he's beaten before. And it's a slightly different situation now because Hunter has full carte blanche to do everything he wants to do, pretty much. And they have the money and the resources. But we're now in a situation where, unlike 2019, AEW has the superior roster. And so it takes monumental fumbling on Tony's part to basically blow the lead of this. If this was a basketball game, Tony's leading the game in terms of creative. No, but in terms of creative quality of show, because AEW is never going to be bigger than WWE commercially, ratings, and that type of stuff, right? But if we're just talking purely as fans when it comes to the creative gap between both products, right? AEW is in the lead for various reasons, and one of them straight up is just roster, right? Now, WWE may be able to catch up when it comes to the wrestling gap a little bit if they just kind of let guys do what they do and feature more of the good workers in prominent positions, you know, because they have good workers in their companies. Just a lot of them are not positioned in a certain way, right? But just repositioning guys and letting them just get their shit in would obviously bridge the gap to a degree when it comes to the in-ring. But again, there is a roster gap now, you know, because of all the budget cuts and things that's happened over the last 2 years. So Tony has the lead in that regard, and it's a lead that I think is broad enough that it would take really, really high levels of incompetence for it to just be completely pissed away. So I think it's going to be interesting to monitor this whole thing. I appreciate AO's response; it was hilarious. But in all just the insanity there, AO for 3. In all the insanity there, he makes a good point. Tony has kicked Triple H's ass before. He has. So it's just going to be very interesting to see what he does this time around with, you know, the best roster I've seen since like 1998 WCW. You know, WWE has the resources. They're going to have more creative competency. Cody Rhodes is going to be back. And, you know, sadly, AO, that's going to mean trouble for you because Cody Rhodes is one of the best in the world at just being just a pro wrestler. I'm sorry. It is what it is.
Hey, men lie, women lie, numbers don't. What was Raw doing? Cody Rhodes was opening the show, main eventing the show, and had the Cody countdown.
1.7.
1.6, 1.7.
Oh,
nasty. Cody popped his titty. They've been doing 1.9 ever since. They don't want Flag Man. They don't want Flag on Neck Man.
Flag
bro.
Man.
Don't want him.
Flag Man is crazy.
Flag Man out of here.
Flag Man is crazy. You know what?
They was doing 1.6. Cody, we saw the numbers. You think Cody doing something with that industry plan ass fucking 5-star match, nigga?
You know what would be
that 5-star match is like winning a bodybuilding contest at fat camp, bro. Like, nigga, it's the worst 5-star match of all time.
That's not true. That's not true.
Pop titties.
The Young Bucks and Adam Cole versus the Jurassic Express and Christian at Full Gear was the weakest 5-star match. It wasn't. I don't know what I was.
I'm with Hollywood on that one, to be honest.
Yeah.
That's when Jungle Boy became Jungle Man. You guys don't understand.
That don't
understand storytelling. You guys don't understand.
When
Jungle Boy raised that steel chair over his head,
it was beautiful. It was beautiful.
Give that concerto, you guys, that went way over your head.
It did not go over my head. It did not go over my head. You know, I made sure to go to
wanting to give Cody Rhodes massage therapy on his pop titties.
I wouldn't give either 5, to be honest.
Yeah. I went 4.5 on the Cody one. With the other one, I just flat out was disliking the match until the Jungle Boy storytelling stuff at the end. And you know, we'll get into Jungle Boy later because he's reached the next stage of his development. So all this is just very interesting to see. Last thing I want to say, AO, it would be hilariously nasty objectively if like even in just the wild, ridiculous up and down, inconsistent Vince McMahon WWE that we've been seeing. Cody was a Vince guy, and Vince was giving him like the rocket ship up the ass, right? And it's funny that now with this new leadership, it's going to mean good for other talents who aren't getting pushed. What would be kind of hilarious is if Heyman and Hunter aren't as big on Cody as Vince was. Like that would be kind of crazy if like they're like, hey, we're low key thinking of giving your spot to this guy, like or something. I don't see, but I just think it'd be kind of funny.
People might not know this because I play the bit up a lot on Twitter, but like I am a Cody Rhodes fan. Like I do enjoy Cody.
That's a lie.
I've enjoyed Cody since I was a little kid. I enjoyed him on the Indies. I enjoyed him in New Japan. There's no swerve. There's no swerve here. I promise.
He's gonna be swerve. There's a swerve.
There's no swerve. Y'all laughing, maybe. I am a Cody Rhodes fan, so it's like, so I have listened to a lot of the interviews that Cody did and has done since rejoining WWE. And he has not once said that, me and Triple H buried the hatchet, or me and Triple H are good now, or Triple H is very high on me, or Triple H thinks I'm a star now, or I proved him wrong. He said all those things about Vince. All he said was that me and Triple H had a conversation, and it was very emotional, and I'll never reveal what was said. That's all he said. For all we know, Triple H fucking hates Cody. But with all that said, I was genuine saying that I was a Cody Rhodes fan, right? I was defending Cody Rhodes when he was having that stinky ass New Japan run where nobody else was. so that's how you know I'm not frauding. But
they started calling him the 3-star general.
All that said, me being a Cody Rhodes fan, it would be funny as fuck if this nigga Triple H buries that nigga. Puts that nigga in the 24/7.
No, that's not happening. That's funny for you.
Running around with Jericho's
that would kill Monty. That might be what sends Monty away from the Fed for good. If Cody Rhodes just becomes a bum, But,
it's not happening. No,
I need him to become a bum, bro.
No. At worst, he's like just an upper guy in the mix rather than being the protagonist of the show, which he's been in his run. But yeah, man, it's all gonna be interesting to see. Tony Khan, he definitely responded to all of this with his booking on Dynamite yesterday. Dynamite was Tony Khan's statement game. And the best way I could describe it as we start to now talk about Dynamite is, you know how basketball players, they act like every regular season game is of equal importance. They're like, oh, no, I just, every game is this and that. There's no extra this and that. But ultimately, when they go to Madison Square Garden and they know the game is on TV, they turn up. Michael Jordan, 1995, first big game since his return, 55 points in the Garden, double fucking nickel, legendary game. Kobe Bryant, 61 points in the Garden, 2009 in MSG. They know when the world is watching. They know when the lights are bright. And Tony Khan heard all the discourse. He heard all the talk about, the reports of AEW's demise, of Triple H stealing his talent, of this being the fall off, of AEW being declining and not being as good, and all this other stuff. The show is not as good as it was a year ago. The storylines aren't as good. AEW's fallen off. Oh, AEW's dead. Triple H and they're going to take over. And what did he do? Yes, he did respond verbally on the radio, but he did respond. I was going to say, but he absolutely had his version of a statement game with Dynamite. I thought Dynamite was the best show on multiple levels in a while because not only did it provide its usual great wrestling, which it always does, we had a lot of interesting story elements to sink our teeth into and to really break down and be interested in seeing progress over the next few weeks. And so because of that and just the great wrestling and just the number of wrestlers that were elevated in one night, like younger wrestlers, it wasn't lost on me. I think it all added up into just a tremendous show. So I guess as we start this topic here, what did you guys think of AEW Dynamite this week?
You need to pick someone to go with, otherwise we'll all start answering.
Okay. Anna, what do you think of Dynamite?
I thought it was great. I think we need to talk Dynamite more. We need to dunk on Tony Khan more because when we do it, he just pull up the most generational things. He just goes all out on the booking. So
bully him more, piss him off more.
Bully Tony Khan. Yeah, let's shit on Dynamite more.
Yes, shit on Dynamite. Anytime people kiss Tony Khan's ass, he starts to like not get lazy, but he gets complacent because it's like, oh, everybody loves my show, and so I'm just gonna do what I do. No, make him mad. Tweet things that inspire discourse. Like it makes the show better every time.
Absolutely, and it was definitely a show for the bad bitches because Garcia and Hook won. So I think it was great. It was great for women's fans, even though the women's match wasn't all that, but it was great for women's fans.
That's great to hear.
It was great.
Ayo, what did you think of Dynamite?
It was a great Dynamite. You know, it was it would have fit right in with like all those generational Dynamites that we had last summer and shit leading up to All Out 2021, when like they just couldn't miss, and every show seemed like a movie and shit. I don't think correlation doesn't really equal causation with us bullying TK or, you know, Hunter getting the pen and then everything's up now. You know, this is the first Dynamite in a long time where like TK didn't really have to worry about Ring of Honor at all. You know, like not even just like including Ring of Honor into like the booking plans of Dynamite, because, you know, Dynamite and Rampage are taped the same day. So it's like he had to plan the Ring of Honor stuff and Dynamite on the same day. And then like even outside of that, like he had the Ring of Honor shit hanging over his head. And coming off a pay-per-view, it's really nobody's thinking about Ring of Honor right now, or like what's this Ring of Honor champion doing to that Ring of Honor champion doing? Like we just know that, right? So right now all he's worried about is AEW. So I think that might lead back into, you know, TK needs more help with like all the booking and everything. Maybe there's too much on his plate where he can't give the generational Dynamites as consistently when he has two promotions to worry about.
I hear what you're saying, but listen, man, I want to make a quick Hollywood Hangman Adam Pearce PSA, a quick essay before Monty gives his opinion on Dynamite and tells you it was a 4 out of 10 episode. I just want to say that. Listen, everybody. People, yeah, it's a thing when they're born, and then they just have this like thing where they're born pissed off, and then they don't get sunlight, and then like they watch our shows at 4 a.m. because of the time zone difference. So it's hard to not just be like angry and depressed and like just really snide about everything, you know. So like you kind of have to like just cope by being like just pissed off about like everything you see. It's just kind of it's a psychological thing with the Brits, but that notwithstanding, anyway. Hollywood Hangman Adam Pearce PSA. Ladies and gentlemen, this is why scrutiny is good. You're not less of an AEW fan if you shit on the things that are poor. And you're not less of a fan if you hold what you like to a standard. You know, some people will say, oh, you're spoiled. No, shut up. Shut up. If they've shown that they can be at a certain level, then yes, you want to hope that they maintain that level. And it's not a personnel-based thing. Because yes, you know, MJF, CM Punk, Kenny Omega, Bryan Danielson, they do contribute their unique skill sets to the show to a degree higher than anybody. But Tony Khan is a star maker. He is a star maker. And he, you know, when he tries, he can make exciting angles and position things where we can get good storylines. That's just a thing he's always been able to do, even when the roster was really, really weak and really, really top heavy. Reigns all the goddamn time in the UK. It does. That's why they're angry. Again, so that's the thing. It's like hold AEW to a standard. Hold them to a standard. Because here's the thing. When people call these Dynamites that are just good, great, it's so annoying to me personally because I've seen great from AEW. Stop comparing. Stop calling a 7 out of 10 episode a 9, because when you see an actual 9, you realize that they are not the same. They're not the same. It's like calling Sami Guevara great and then calling Bryan Danielson great. Can we then Danielson has to be a different word if the superlative you're using for Guevara is great, then Danielson is incredible. You know what I'm saying? So again, we have to hold what we like to a standard so that it can stay at that standard and we get good shit, because otherwise then you get WWE, you know. So I just wanted to point that out there because people get so mad when other people, you know, complain about Dynamite and act like it's a problem with the fans. And yes, are wrestling fans whiny? Yes. Are they bitchy? Yes. Are they overdramatic at times? Absolutely. And do they maybe act like the sky is falling when it's not falling? For sure. But ultimately,
let me hop on that point really fast, hey, man, because I agree with you. And people call me AEW shilling and shit, but like when something's happening that I don't like, I point it on the timeline. I had a whole tirade about this nigga Kyle O'Reilly's push, bro. He's over pushed. Niggas do not want to see that shit. He should not have beat Darby. He should not have beat Phoenix. He should not have won the fucking Battle Royale. Like, he's a tag team wrestler. He's a very good wrestler. He's a very good tag team wrestler. But give a singles nigga that push. Give somebody who actually has a chance to be a single star that push.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it's just like, you chicken little ass AEW fans are annoying as fuck, bro. Like, what is wrong with you niggas who act like the fucking sky is falling when something happens that you don't like, bro? Like, oh, something's good for WWE, and you niggas just turn into fucking concern trolls. And I can't even call you concern trolls because you don't actually mean the shit. And you're actually stupid enough to believe the shit that y'all is saying. Like, you just cry all fucking day about something. All day. Nigga, go read a fucking book, bro. Like, why are you crying? Act like the WWE fans. Act like WWE fans. When something's trash, lie, nigga. I don't know. Like, say it's just, when you think it's trash, just lie, nigga. Like, you niggas are so fucking annoying. Like, you don't not get tired of crying all the time.
Monty, I have a theory. No, I think the chicken little AEW fans, as he calls them, the sky is falling people. It really there's a correlation between them and the people who like AEW specifically for the elite. And later on, I will be giving my psychological PhD breakdown on elite fans, which it might hurt some feelings, it might be upsetting, but ultimately, it's just I'm going to get it off. I'm going to break it down. We're going to fight over it. It is what it is. I'm going to preface,
all right, bro, because I definitely have some things I want to say about Braun Breaker in here. So I'm glad.
No, we don't.
Save it for Tuesdays.
Yo, you know
Braun Breaker and MJF while we're at it. So go ahead, bro.
You know what AO's gonna do? AO's gonna make us review NXT episodes just to get his shit off. He's gonna make
not NXT episodes, just Braun Breaker matches.
This is matches.
so this is the future, huh? This is what
you're
watching.
But guys, Roosh, I think we could all agree, had by far his best in-ring showing in AEW. Right. He was in the opener against Jon Moxley. They had a match for the interim championship. There was a lot of talk of two Willies when Jon Moxley was making his entrance. And Jim Ross breaking down the physiology of breaking off one of the Willies. I just thought that was very interesting banter that I just had to bring up. But no, seriously, Jon Moxley, Roosh, I thought they had a great match, like a genuinely great match. Jon Moxley bleeds all the time, and I never get tired of it. It feels like he kind of has to bleed. Like it's customary. Like you Jon Moxley, bleed a little bit. It's a visual I need to see. I thought they had a great match. Mox went over clean with the Bulldog choke. What did you guys think of this match, Monty?
Yeah, man. I think that Roosh has really been quite impressive since he's joined AEW. Like, even if he went into it knowing what he's been about, I think he's overexceeded expectations. To be honest, he hasn't missed yet. This was great, man. This was it was heated. Roosh played his part very well. Obviously, the result going into it was obvious, but they still managed to make it, like I said, heated. And, Moxley bled because he just can't help himself, It's how quickly he pulls it off, bro.
Yeah, that's what makes it funny.
First face or head bump, he's just like, let's go.
Dude, he bladed off a sling blade at Forbidden Door. I was like, man. I was like, all right, bro. Like, he bladed off a sling blade. I was like, whose man is this? Like, he did not think that through. Anna, what did you think of the opener?
Roosh is phenomenal, and Hangman, you don't have to pretend you like Latinos. We know the truth.
I love the Latino people.
Oh yeah.
I love Mexico. I love Lucha Libre. I love Roosh. I love the Munoz family. I love La Facción Ingornable. I love Los Ingornables.
The accent.
Absolutely. So anyway, continue, Anna, with your propaganda.
My propaganda. My agenda.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I'm trying to convince everyone that you hate Latinos because you still haven't paid me. So I'll keep trying.
Listen. This is a 360 deal. I don't pay my employees. It is what it is. Once we get the super chats, I'll catch up on payments and then we'll go from there. So there you go.
Okay. But yeah, the opener was amazing. Roosh is phenomenal. So the people that didn't know his work before AEW, I'm just so happy that they're getting to know him because Lucha Libre is just phenomenal and Roosh just represents that so well. But he has another side that he's just not a spot fest wrestler. He's not just a high flyer. He's really aggressive and it was amazing. He really fit well with Mox, and I felt like it was such a different match from the one he had the that before Dishonor against Dragon Lee. It was just completely different. And he was great at both of them. So I'm just really happy to see him get that push and get into that position. It's just amazing. Yeah.
I want to add that real quick. If you're somebody who's new to Roosh and your introduction to him is his first few matches in AEW, and you want to see more of Roosh, and you are thinking to just watch him in Ring of Honor, don't. Just have this vision of Roosh in your head and just go from there, because he's having the best matches of his career right now. And I think he's somebody whose quality of work depends on how motivated he is. And I also think that when Roosh tries to be a spot like Lucha Libre guy, he's kind of okay. But Roosh just wrestling, like he did with John, he's just wrestling. He's even better at that than trying to keep up with a Bandito, for example. You know what I mean? Like him just being a power guy, an athletic power guy, it works for him. So again, I think right now he's really motivated because look, he's in a roster where everybody's talented. Everybody's really good. If he shows up and just phones it in and doesn't care and has okay matches, he's gonna find himself on Rampage and an Elevation really fast. And so I'm sure Andrade's probably telling him like, bro, listen, man, all the eyes are on you. Don't make me look bad. Go out there and absolutely kill it. And so he's been doing a good job. And I thought his match with Mox was great. What did you think of the match, AO?
Roosh Tien SA dog NL. You know what that means?
No.
You know what that means, Hangman?
No.
It means Roosh got that dog in him, bro. But I'm not really gonna talk about the match. There's not much to be said about the match.
Yeah.
Roosh fucking hoops, bro. Like he's a hooper. What I want to talk about is back to you chicken little ass niggas, bro. And I told you guys, when Roosh popped up at what was it, Revolution?
I want to say
Double or Nothing.
Double or Nothing, I think.
Double or Nothing. When Roosh popped up at Double or Nothing, you guys were like, oh my God, why would TK sign Roosh? Roosh will refuse to job. Roosh is a locker room cancer. Roosh doesn't like to lose. He's not going to lose. And I told you guys, Roosh was doing that shit in Ring of Honor because he was bigger than Ring of Honor at the time, and he knew it. Ring of Honor was literally nothing. That's why he was able to act like that. Then Roosh was on his best behavior in New Japan, and he was going to be on his best behavior in AEW. Well, you guys have to stop crying about everything. Use some common sense. This nigga Roosh, him being signed to AEW was never a sure thing, and he knows that. Andrade knows that. So he's going to come in. He's going to job to whoever the fuck they tell him to job to. And he was going to earn his fucking paycheck. And that's what's been happening so far. Yeah. He's been doing it with a smile.
Because he has to. Because, listen, bro, could you imagine, what's going to happen with the locker room this talented if Tony Khan's like, yeah, so Mox goes over. And he's like, I don't like that. It's like, okay, bro, then go job to
Matt Sydal on Dark Elevation.
Not even, bro. Go job to Alan Angels on Impact, bro.
I'm fucking crying.
Someone else will take you. So, absolutely. What was the next thing on the show again, Monty? After this? Oh no, Jericho came out. Chris Jericho comes out, and the JS come out, and Anna Jay is in this full red outfit, and she grabs the microphone and she screams a lot about her decision to join the JAS. I wasn't really sure what she was cooking there, but she definitely gave her, her whole stuff about joining the stable. But the real point of this was Jericho informing us that he's going to be facing Jon Moxley for the AEW Championship, the interim AEW Championship, on Dynamite Quake in the Lake in 2 weeks. So he had Quake in the Lake. So that's going to be the championship match they're building to in 2 weeks. And John grabbed the mic and he was talking about how, he hates the sports entertainment bullshit and how he wants Jericho to leave all the trash at home, and that the guy he wants is not Chris Jericho, the man of all the monikers that he's had and all the trademarks. He wants Chris Jericho, who was the last survivor of the Hard Dungeon. He wants Chris Jericho that he saw in the Japan tapes at the Super J Cups. He wants the Lionheart. And so we already have our match set: Chris Jericho versus Jon Moxley, Death Rider versus Lionheart. So I thought Mox's promo was great. He made a point to say, screw interim, I am the world champion, which to me is seeds for CM Punk. And when we get that going and the fan base war that's going to result in on Twitter.
That should have been a promo he cut the second that he touched that belt. But
I agree.
I'm happy that it eventually happened.
Yeah. Just saying F that. I'm here. I'm the champion. I'm not the interim, bro. It's an interesting dynamic because you know, it'd be one thing if like Punk got to do a lot with the title and then had to leave and then we had an interim, but Punk won it and immediately left. And so it really does just feel like Mox is the champion. So that's going to be interesting. But in regards to this promo, I thought this was good stuff. It makes sense to do a John Moxley Chris Jericho match. I've been saying it for a few months now on the podcast. Like, it just makes sense to do it. So it's good that they're going to get a good rating out of that and get that out of the way before we move on to the next thing with Moxley. The segment was good. To be a dorky nitpicker, it is funny just how much nerd bait nostalgia we're giving like Lionheart Chris Jericho, because most people don't know this version of Chris, and it's not the best version of Chris.
They saw the clips on Twitter though.
I was gonna say it's not even the best version of Chris Jericho. So it's just kind of funny. But you know, at the end of the day, you know, I get it. And Tony, I get it. You know what I mean? But yeah, good segment. I'm looking forward to the match. What did you guys think of the segment, Anna?
First off, Anna Jay's promo was, it was definitely a promo. It happened. It was it was a promo. She was on her Vicky Guerrero shit. I didn't really like it. Yeah. And you know, the entire thing of the Jericho Appreciation Society is kind of mocking WWE. So when she started the promo, she said, "I'm the sexiest and the toughest." Was she trying to do an EST thing? I don't know.
Maybe.
It was giving me Carmella,
right?
Carmella. Oh.
That's funny.
Like,
oh my
god, beautiful girl in WWE gimmick and shit.
Maybe
Oh my god.
I do want to say.
If you have to, no, but like if you have to take inspiration from anyone in WWE, you're gonna choose Carmella. Why?
I don't know. I real quick before you continue, Anna, I do want to say that appreciate us as the acknowledge me parody line is really funny. Like, it's just really funny.
It's hilarious.
It works.
Yeah,
it works.
Yeah. Continue, Anna.
Yeah. But first of all, Quake by the Lake is a horrible name. Quake in the Lake. It's not a good name at all. It's not great.
It sounds like a porn title. Like, it's
bro. What are we doing? What are you watching, bro?
What type of porn?
You got to be adventurous.
Anyways, the wrestling podcast.
Is it Quake by the Lake or Quake in the Lake? Is it
by the Lake? I think.
I think it's by the lake.
That's even funnier. One time, that's such a shitty name.
Bro, remember when he done Beach Break in like Cleveland or something?
in like January or February, like. Like, who's talking about beaches in Cleveland in February when it's snowing? Like,
no, it's just Minnesota has the Great Lakes over there. That's why it's Quake at the lake. You know,
look what
the Los
you're doing,
Angeles
Hollywood.
Lakers. They're the Los Angeles Lakers because they used to be the Minnesota Lakers.
WTF? I thought this was a Christian podcast. You could have called it. Someone could come up with a better name. Call it Minneapolis.
Jordan Patu. You white Joshi loving pervert, bro. He's trying to push his white Christianity
not even here
on everybody else.
No, he's not. I think it's a hilarious name. It's almost as bad as Great Balls of Fire. Call it.
Yo, honestly, I don't see what's so bad with the name, bro.
The Quake by the Lake. It feels like a parody name. Yo, when Jericho said it, I swear to God, I thought like it was like a joke. Like, I thought like that's not the actual name.
Them niggas got lakes, bro. They about to get to quaking over there. I don't know what to tell you.
You know what?
Like, about to get to quaking.
But stop saying the word quaking. It sounds like a fake show that Rock would list off in a promo. Like, he'd be like, I don't care if it's Raised in a Cage, Hell in a Cell, Quake by the Lake, The Rock is gonna take you. Like, it sounds like that type of thing, you know. But yeah. Anna, what do you think of the Jericho Mox matchup? You know, where do you think this is all going?
Yeah, I think it's better that it's happening at Quake by the Lake because it's not a match that I wanted to see at All Out. I think All Out has to be Mox and CM Punk if Punk is back by then. But I think it's great that they're doing it, and they're doing it before Mox eventually lose the title again. So it was a really good promo by Mox. Mox never misses with the promos.
Never,
on, right?
never, ever.
Never.
Monty, what do you make of it?
So the promo was whatever. The Anna Jay thing was, it's a new character for her. We'll give her some time, we'll call it an adjusting period. But yeah, Chris Jericho versus John Moxley at Quaker Lake. The thing that popped me about it a lot was that, they're doing it on Dynamite in 2 weeks. It kind of felt like a signal, sigh of relief for me that I think Punk is going to be back at All Out, to be honest. Because, there was reports that his recovery was coming along all right. Then there was the San Diego Comic-Con report. I believe it was PW Insider who were like, he was in a lot of pain backstage. He was always icing his foot, this and that. So it was kind of it was a bit dicey for a moment, for me at least. But I think that feels like a signal that Punk's going to be back, because with the way that they've done the Blackpool Combat Club Jericho Appreciation Society stuff, it does feel like, Jericho, it makes a lot of sense for Jericho to get, that shot at Moxley, especially with even like their history of having the world title matches before, Jericho not having his rematch with Moxley, etc., etc. It just makes sense. So I was thinking if Punk wasn't going to be back, that would probably be the All Out match. But like I said, with them doing it in 2 weeks, I'm kind of I am expecting Punk to be back at this point, to be honest. But for the matchup, like I said, it makes a lot of sense, storyline sense. I'm sure it will be fine. Moxley's genuinely, arguably the best wrestler in the world at the moment. He's on like the run of his career easily for me. And Jericho, man, Jericho's on this ever since he started the Jericho Appreciation Society and started the feud with Kingston. He's been great, to be honest. So, not something I'm overly excited about, but it makes sense, and I think it will be good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
another thing. I'm sorry. Just another thing about the lion. Yeah, the lion heart thing. I think just that Moxley saw Chris Jericho come out as the Painmaker, and he said, "All right, no."
Yeah, I'm not facing him with that.
Mox ain't doing no. I was kind of worrying that's what he was gonna say. I'll be honest. Like when he was listing through the names, like I don't want the sports entertainer, I don't want this, I don't want that. I was like, oh no. I was like, oh no, he's not gonna say the Painmaker again.
The Painmaker's lame. But yeah, no, I agree with you guys. Ayo, what do you think Jericho should do for All Out after this? After this Moxie match, do you think he's heading towards a match with Danielson? Where do you think he goes?
All Out's the first week of September, right? So that's actually pretty close.
Yes.
So there's not going to be enough time to create an entire feud. I'm not sure if he should have. No, not a Danielson match. Eddie should probably get his win back, honestly, and just
Part 3.
That should be the end of BCC versus JAS, because there's really no point of it makes sense for Jericho to go over now in hindsight with Jericho getting a title shot, and I think this has the potential to be a really good feud and a really good match and stuff with Jericho's new like King's Road style of wrestling and stuff that he's adopted now ever since really the Eddie matches.
Eddie Kingston,
Eddie should probably get his win back and that should bookend the feud.
I'm not opposed to that. No, that makes total sense to me. I am curious. Like we're at the point now in the feud where it's gone so long. It's like, what is the ending? And I think we do probably start. We probably do end where we started, which is Eddie Kingston and Jericho. So that's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. I think Eddie Kingston. I said this to you, Monty, like in the past. He has so many built-in feuds right now. Like he has built-in feuds with Danielson, with Claudio Castagnoli, CM Punk. Yeah, so he's a guy that like just because of the nature of how he is and how like a lot of his feuds are unresolved, which is why it's like this. You know what I mean? Like there's still stuff on the table for the CM Punk stuff. There's still stuff on the table for Jericho. And so yeah, absolutely. There's just there's so many ways he can go after this. So I'm just really interested to see that in the fall season. So yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to seeing them cap it off, him and Jericho having a trilogy under. That just makes me wonder then what is Danielson? If that is the case, what does Danielson do all out?
Honestly, I was going to touch on this too in my original answer. I wouldn't be opposed to a 6-man tag capping it off as well. I know like 6-man tags have like the stigma or whatever, but between the JS and the BCC, like there's a lot of hoopers involved. Like they could really make it a really good match, and just all right, like, this is finally done. Moving on to something else.
For sure. The next stuff on the show was correct me if I'm wrong, Monty. I mean, I don't know if you have the lineup. I don't. I've been going off the top of my head.
No, I've got it here.
Yeah. It was the Danhausen stuff, right?
Well, there's a few things before that. So
got you. Go. Let's go through them.
It's kind of it's gonna bring up the point when I talk about it, but they announced the trios belt.
Oh,
and the way they done this was fucking incredible. I think AEW just have, the match finished or whatever it was, or it may be the Dante promo came first because Dante cut a promo with Sky Blue, but either way, they're just smash cut to the announcer's desk and there's titles there, and it's like, well, here's the trios belts, and it was just, I don't know, man. No, the way they've done the same thing with the All Atlantic title, where they're just, it's just at the commentator's desk, and they were like, well, here it is, and it's like, I don't know, man. When you're unveiling a belt, I wish they'd kind of give it a bit more juice. But yeah, AEW trios belts, obviously a belt that, well, a set of belts that, pretty much the majority of AEW fans have been waiting on for a long time now. Kind of feels like the bat signal for Kenny Omega, of course, because Tony's mentioned in the past he didn't want to bring in trios belts before he could come back. And, we all know how much Tony Khan loves the trio of Tony Khan and the Bucks. So like I said, it kind of feels like a bat signal for Kenny Omega, but we finally got the belts that a lot of fans are asking for. So yeah, back up, Hangman. What's your kind of take on the way that they announced it, and of course, the idea of AEW finally having trios belts?
I think it's really interesting that this Dynamite basically gave you subtle indications that CM Punk and Kenny Omega are back. I don't know what Monty's doing right now. There he is. He's back again. Yeah, okay. It's interesting. It's exciting because it's like, all right, Omega. We already heard the report about how the Bucks are not doing FTR at All Out because they're probably going to do something with Kenny in a trios match. So obviously, it's going to be the tournament. So did they say that the tournament finals were at All Out?
We should probably know.
Yeah, the finals, the champions will be crowned at All Out.
Then that means that presumably, unless it's Hung Bucks, presumably then Kenny Omega is going to be back in 2 or 3 weeks, which is pretty exciting. Because Kenny Omega is one of the better wrestlers ever. He's one of the better wrestlers in the world. He's better than pretty much everybody not named, CM Punk and Bryan Danielson. So yeah, man, I'm really happy to see Kenny Omega back doing what he does.
You want to start this again, Hangman? Because the last time you try to pitch Chicago Phil against Kenny Omega, you know what the big AO side of Twitter did? They made you cry, nigga. They made you cry. And you was crying into your keyboard. You was like, I don't want to do these jokes anymore. I was just kidding, guys. Don't do this, bro. Don't do this.
Tyson Smith is a very talented wrestler who held the fort down for hardcore fans in the absence of Bryan Danielson and CM Punk when they were both inactive. And I respect him for his contributions to wrestling that he was able to do until the daddies came back. And so I respect Tyson Smith and all his contributions.
Yeah, man, I don't want to make it seem like I don't respect Chicago Phil. Kenny Omega, he's probably the best in the world right now. He's up there, Kazuchika Okada, Bryan Danielson. He's also Chicago Phil. Kenny's the best bout machine. Phil's the best botch machine. He just botches. And you have SA Man over here talking about how that just adds to his legacy. And just, Chicago Phil's not perfect. That's why we were able to forgive his botches. I've never seen the Miz botch a power bomb. Maybe he has, maybe he hasn't. I've seen Chicago Phil do it.
CM Punk is the Van Gogh of wrestling. He never colored inside the lines, and I think that adds to just the aura, the flavor, the texture of his wrestling. A texture that's just unmatched by anybody that isn't Bryan Danielson in the world. And again, it's fine that Tyson Smith doesn't approach this level of texture, but what he does do is he does things with his friends, the Young Bucks, that are really sparkly and exciting, and I'm really happy to see these sparkly and exciting things in AEW. I missed it, and so I'm looking forward to seeing Christopher Massey and Nick. What is it? Nick Massey teaming with Tyson Smith. They should be the first trio champion. And I'm looking forward to all of that. So what was the next segment, Monty?
I wish I could say that I'm looking forward to Daniel Wheeler and I wish I could say I was looking forward to Daniel Wheeler and David Hardwood teaming up with Chicago Phil, but I'm not, bro. I'm not. They're boring. All right. They don't have the flair. They don't have the finesse. They don't have the artistic style that the Elite do. You know what I'm saying? Act like you have some fucking culture. Act like you've been somewhere before. Act like you've seen a wrestling match before. Respect the Elite.
It's because of my culture that I can savor the southern tinge.
Yo, savoring a grown man's tinge is disgusting. What is wrong with you?
He said Hangman's talking about that man like he's a creme brulee.
Yo, why are you savoring their tinge?
I think that I don't know, savor just the southern tinge, the very broth that they leave behind when they have their southern their southern influenced tag matches. I think with CM Punk's Canadian Bret Hart Heart Dungeon texture and just it's going to be amazing. I'm looking forward to seeing CMFTR. And so look, all that's going to be great. And so I am looking forward to seeing all that.
Hopefully they'll structure a match by themselves and they won't boot up Peacock and be the Bret Hart merchants that they are.
Wow.
We've seen those matches already. We don't need to see them.
CM Punk and FTR, if you guys are listening, you guys have covered a lot of 94 Bret. Just hit up 97. You know what I'm saying? Hit up 97. See what Bret was doing in 97.
That needs to go around.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's a lot more Bret to get into.
Real quick, shout out to my close personal friend Michael Hickenbottom, Shawn Michaels himself, HBK, the Heartbreak Kid. Shout out to him, bro. I see you doing your thing over there at the Fed, man. You was always better than that pink and black merchant. I fuck with you, Sean.
Monty, someone DM'd me and said, he said Hangman and AO are Magneto and Professor X right now. That's hilarious. Yeah, man. Yeah. You're not gonna, you know what this feels like? This feels like a promo where like both guys have gigantic egos and they want to have the last word in the promo and cue their music. And like my music is playing and AO is like, wait, one more thing. And it's just fucking fine.
Shout out to Michael Hickenbottom.
Yeah, Shawn Michaels is pretty good. You know, he's pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good wrestler. He's
better than the best there is, the best there wasn't, the better. Better than him.
He certainly influenced those guys who learned wrestling in a trampoline and are friends with Hangman Page and Tyson Smith and guys like that. Monty, what was the next segment, brother?
So we had the
go ahead, Monty.
So we had the Dante Martin promo with Sky Blue. There's honestly not too much to say about that, so we'll kind of just gloss over it. Then we had the Ricky Starks deal, which opened up. Obviously, it was Ricky Starks versus Danhausen in the first match, and we got a really cool video package of Ricky Starks before he made his entrance, which it definitely popped Twitter. It was just kind of I don't even know how to explain it. It was like it was almost like a car rad without the car, you know. Like I don't know, man. It was something. It was great. It made Ricky come off like a star. It looked like a big star, really. And yeah, Ricky Starks versus Danhausen. Then that was followed by Ricky issuing an open challenge to anyone in the back who wants to face him because he still felt fresh after the Danhausen match. And then out comes Hook. And then we had another match, which was infinitely better for a match that only went... How long would you say it was? Like 2 minutes? 3 minutes? It was brilliant. It was executed perfectly. So, yeah, we have a new FTW champion, Hook. I'll start with you. Ayo, what were your thoughts on the whole Ricky Starks, Danhausen, FTW, Hook, that chunk of the show? Then of course we'll get to the later stuff after we go around about the match.
That was a beautiful segment. I liked it a lot. You know, they Ricky Starks, he actually dropped this promo, like something very similar to this on Twitter and on Reddit like years ago when he was still in the NWA, or maybe even just breaking
when he first joined when he was first joining AEW, I remember it was his tweet. It was like his ping tweet for like a year.
Yeah, yeah. Or something very similar to this when he like introduced himself to Stroke Daddy Pause. And I was and everybody was like, "Yo, we need to get this on Dynamite. We need to get this on Dynamite." I like that they did a high budget version of that. You know, it did make him look like a huge star. The only thing that I didn't like about this whole thing is like they made him fucking sell for Danhausen when Tony Nese fucking destroyed him, which is like, why is Ricky Starks, who's like much higher in the card, like presented as a much bigger deal than Tony Nese? Like, why is he like? It wasn't a back and forth affair or anything like that, but like he was selling for Danhausen, he was holding his neck after the match and shit. Just like I don't know, maybe they should have had a different opponent, but then made the Hook thing's not really tied to anybody else but Danhausen and FTW. But no, it was awesome. I liked it a lot. I think it was the right choice to get the belt off him now, because for people that don't know and I was crying this whole time, what is like? Why doesn't Ricky Starks get title matches? Why doesn't Ricky Starks get title matches? Taz was deluded enough to think that like, bro, fuck the world championship. Like that was what the belt meant. Fuck the world championship. I got my belt here. Like, fuck that shit. And now that Ricky doesn't have that shit and he's not beholden to that anymore, it's Ricky can go for some real belts, real singles belts.
Yeah, man. Anna, what was your whole take on the Ricky Starks, Danhausen, Hook deal?
I loved it. I think I said it last week that I thought that this was gonna happen, but I didn't know it was gonna happen so fast. I didn't know who was gonna come out and win the title just like that. It was amazing. And seeing Taz being able to commentate his son winning the title that he created was just such an awesome moment. And I liked that it wasn't sort of, the end of Team Taz came later, but the whole Hook beating Ricky thing, they finished fist bumping, so things were cool between them. And I think the FTW title really fits Hook more than any other title would right now. I don't think he's at the point of getting the TNT or the World Championship, but it's cool that he has a championship, and being that one, he can keep on having his short matches, being cool as fuck like he always is. And I'm happy for Ricky. I think he's ready. That man, just strap a rocket to him. He's fucking ready. Just push them in. Just push him to. He's phenomenal. He's amazing. I love Ricky Starks. Yeah.
Ricky Starks has been ready, man. I think a lot of people have been calling for a night like last night for him for a while now. But back up, Hangman. What was your takes on the first two parts of the 3-part Ricky Starks story we got last night?
I have nothing to say about the mime, but Ricky Starks' introduction was tremendous. It was a great big budget version of what he was doing when he was the man formerly known as Stroke Daddy. It was tremendous. Ricky Starks is a superstar. He's been a superstar. I've been saying it for weeks, for months, for over a year now. I am tired of Ricky Starks pre-tapes. This is a guy who should be speaking regularly because he's a tremendous talent. So I'm really happy for him. It's funny that he's losing a championship and getting elevated in doing so. It's almost like he's graduating to the next grade, and Hook is now in the grade that Ricky Starks is in, so to speak, if that makes any sense. And Ricky's giving him a hand-me-down that, by his own words, has more value than it did when he was holding it. Which, you could argue is like a really subtle dig at Brian Cage, but nevertheless.
Bro, Brian Cage treated that belt like it was a piece of shit. Like, he would just throw it all over. Like, before it was even like the storyline that he was like feuding with like Team Taz or whatever, like, he did not give a fuck about that belt.
Yeah, look, a belt is as important as you make it, really. Belts can have as much value as you want to attribute to it, and that it depends on your booking, the matches that you have for it, how you treat it. And so the FTW belt in AEW has been a belt that's the value of it fluctuates, and part of it's the booking, but if you want to argue that Brian maybe didn't do his part to make it feel a certain way, go for it. Regarding Ricky Starks, I said this on Twitter that the impromptu match announcement that Hook is coming out, like the pop of this random out of nowhere match that like wasn't scheduled, and then him just winning it right there on the spot with the crowd like being really excited for it. It was very
ECW
it's very ECW like. It's a Paul Heyman move, which again is just a really funny thing. The day that we hear that Paul Heyman's getting some power, that Tony Khan kind of does a little wink, wink, nudge, nudge, nod to his sensei. I thought this was really cool. Hook is awesome. He's just such a cool wrestler. And so I'm really happy for him. Like Anna said, it's a cool moment that his father got to commentate over this. It was really beautiful. Ricky Starks' promo that he cut was really, really, really great, in my opinion. And everything he said in it was totally true, man. He's a great talent, and enough waiting. Now's the time really to start going hard with just cementing some of these guys, especially in the wake of the news of the competition. Now is the time to get those guys who knows, maybe they were going to be on the fence, and kind of secure them and let them know, no, this is the place where you're value. This is the place where you're going to become a superstar. Don't even think about it. This is the place. That's what it felt like with Ricky yesterday, where it was like Tony was like, let me stop bullshitting with Ricky, and so that was good to see. I'm really happy for Ricky. And we'll get to the next story beat, but I
want to touch on what you said. I forgot to shout out to Hook, bro, because without Hook being as awesome as he is, that segment would not have worked. It's very rare that like someone who is a literal fucking meme like is able to like transcend that
and be good
through and be good on their own merit. Like, how often does that happen? Fucking LaMelo Ball was a meme for a very long time, transcended that. He's awesome NBA player. Hook was a meme for a very long fucking time because he was just like Taz's son who was mute and fucking just stood there with his messed up hair and his hoodie and shit with the fucking name Hook and shit. It's just like, but he's turning into must watch TV, and it's like, it's dope for him.
Yeah, definitely. So we'll go into the next part of it with Ricky Starks, which was the headline maker. We'll say obviously Hook winning the FTW title was, it's a big deal, especially with the Hook Taz connection and everything. It's definitely good stuff. But the main meat of this whole Ricky Starks deal was Ricky Starks got on the mic after he lost the belt to Hook, and he cuts this like incredible babyface promo. You you're echoing. I don't know what you're doing. You're echoing. You're still echoing, Ayo. What have you done?
Hey, what's going on? You're not? Are you by the mic, man?
I'm echoing.
Yeah, you're echoing a little bit. I don't know what happened.
Is it still going?
Testing. No, we're good.
Yeah, we're good now. We're good. Okay. So Ricky Starks cuts this incredible blatantly babyface promo about like how he knows he's lost a lot, but he knows that he's added value to the FTW title and he's made something of it. And then he goes into about to cut something to do with, he says me and Hobbs, and Hobbs just absolutely blows his fucking head off with a lariat of short arm lariat sort of thing. And that's the end of Team Taz, it looks like. Hobbs shocked everyone in the arena, shocked everyone watching, I think. I don't think there was anyone who was expecting it to happen right there and then in that manner. But I thought it was really well done, to be honest. And like I said, the promo that Starks cut before the turn was incredible. So, yeah, really good hot angle, elevating, and just really great stuff if you're a Ricky Starks fan. I'll go to you first, Backup Hangman. What was your take on the whole Hobbs turning on Ricky Starks deal, and of course the Starks promo before it?
It speaks to my investment in these characters that I watched this angle where wrestling is a business that has all kinds of swerves and turns, and I watch it and I go, yeah, that was an interesting thing, or that was a cool story thing. But with this, it was like my jaw dropped and I was like, no, Hobbs, no! Like I reacted like I was watching a movie.
Proper.
It was like, no, you piece of shit! Like, why did you do that to Ricky Starks, man? Like, that's your boy. I reacted like this was a shoot, and that's good because I think AEW proved last year with some of the stuff with like the Hangman story that even though we all know that this is just it's all a work and everything,
you can rile up real emotions out of people.
You can make people feel real things as if they're watching a TV show if the characters are interesting and the stories are good. And with Hobbs doing that to Ricky, like I felt like betrayed personally. I was like, damn, man, like why did you do that? Like, no, what the fuck, Will Hobbs? And so that's the desired reaction. Peach said I fell to my knees for real. No, seriously, man. Like I was so mad at Will Hobbs. I was really, really upset at him. And this is what I've been talking about. You know, people talk about AEW hasn't declined or these shows are still great. Ultimately, I think AEW's at its best when they're having great stories to go with their great matches. And we needed some top storylines that we were really, really passionate about. You know, not just like, okay, that was a cool angle to set up this match. My timeline exploded in a way that I haven't seen in ages. That's what I'm saying. You know, when Hobbs turned, man, it was genuinely like a betrayal. It was heartbreaking. And AEW, again, it's at their best when you're following these characters and you're really invested and you're emotional towards where they go. You know what I mean? And this is going to be one of those stories that people are going to be really following closely and they're going to feel really passionate about, and they're going to follow the characters and get invested in it like it's a TV show. And that's what you want out of wrestling. You know, even beyond just this match will bang, you want to really, really get hooked on the stories. And, you know, as we see later, like that's what the Elite do. And that's why they're really successful at just kind of getting people to watch wrestling emotionally, not just, to watch it emotionally. Like that's important. And that's a skill. And ultimately it's a good thing overall. So my reaction to the angle, well done. Masterfully well, just on every level, it's so well put together. You got Hook to a new level, you got Ricky Starks to a new level, you got Hobbs to a new level, and you did it by breaking them up and repositioning them. And so it was just it was one of Tony's best angles when it comes to that situation.
Yeah, definitely.
So it was just well put together.
My only complaint, and it's a very, very minor complaint, because I'm willing to. AEW has earned the right to let us. Let it play out. Like people say, wrestling fans say that as a meme because it's never going to play out well. But like AEW's earned the right for us to let it play out. But I'm not sure how I feel about turning Ricky baby. There's just so many fucking baby faces. Like there's so many baby faces. It's like they could have used another heel. I feel like, and who knows what's going on with the Elite if they're really going to join back with Hangman. You know, Kenny's going to come back. Kenny's going to be a baby face. He can't come back as a heel. So it's just like, I don't know. It's kind of saturated on that side over there. You know, Bryan Danielson is a baby face now again. You have Wardlow who just turned into a baby face. Then you have all of the champions are baby faces right now. So I don't know. But we'll see.
Definitely. Anna, what was your take on the whole, the whole heel turn? And, of course, the Ricky Starks promo beforehand.
Yeah, the Rick Starks promo was just amazing. And the thing with AEW is that they build up heel turns for so long that sometimes they even miss the timing, like Jimmy Hater and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But they just love to build heel turns with so much detail. So when a heel turn just comes out of nowhere, it's especially shocking when it happens in AEW. When it happens in WWE, we're just like, okay, it's bad booking because you just turn people all the time. There's absolutely no planning.
Vince is bored.
Yeah, so it just happens. But in AEW, it's so rare to see a heel turn just happens out of nowhere. It's really rare. So it was shocking. It hurt. Mm-hmm. It hurt more than my parents' divorce. I was flabbergasted at it's just. No,
oh my God.
He just tried to slide that in like he was.
No, but it was shocking. It broke me. Honestly, I was so upset because in my head, Team Taz were next in line for the tag titles, especially after Swerve and Kid Lee won. So I just had in my head for sure that they were going to win it. So it just caught me by surprise. It really broke me. I think it was amazing, and I'm excited to see how Rick is gonna be as a babyface. I know there's a lot of baby faces, like Ayo said, but I think he's gonna be a different kind of babyface. So I'm interested, and I'm especially interested in seeing how House will be as a singles competitor and as a heel, because now that Wardlow is a babyface, that big heel guy part is just it's empty. They just need someone to put there. And I think Hop's going to be phenomenal at that. I really want to see how Hop's going to do in a singles run.
Yeah, definitely. Hopefully hopefully Hobbs does elevate to the occasion, because to AO's point as well, like on the heel side, it's not weak or anything by any means. It's literally impossible with the roster they've got. That's obviously not what he was saying at all. But me and Joe, who obviously a lot of you guys who watch this channel know already, we like to have this conversation about like depth charts, like who are the top babyfaces, who are the top heels in each company, sort of thing. And when you compare like the AEW babyface side to the heel side, especially now Danielson's back as well, and there's still a few injuries and stuff, it really is something. So like on the babyface side for the men, you've got Moxley, Hangman, Danielson's back now. You've got Kingston, Wardlow, Orange Cassidy, Miro, Claudio, Darby. Then obviously you've got Yuta, who's also in the mix, Pac, who's in the mix as well. The Lucha Brothers. Then on the heel side, it's Chris Jericho, Christian Cage, Malachi Black, Andrade, Sami Guevara, Brody, Scorpio Sky, Daniel Garcia, Jay Lethal, Ethan Page. Like there is definitely a pretty substantial difference in those two, this sort of thing. So it's definitely a point worth bringing up. But at least we do get the Hobbs on the heel side, and I think Ricky Starks as a babyface I think he'll be a completely different animal. Like we got a glimpse of it last night with that 20-second promo or whatever it was. The guy is I think he's going to prove a lot of us already know, that he's, when it comes to like prospects, I know he's not exactly like as young as some of the other ones. I think he's like in his early 30s or something like that. But when it comes to people that people try and see going far in the future, I think he's one of the main standout ones, and I think he's going to prove that he's built different. To be honest, I think Ricky Starks' this babyface one is going to be like, as long as it's booked properly and he gets the time and attention that he needs, and he can do the in-ring promos and he can really get himself over, I think he's going to do exactly that. And I think this push could end up being accelerated if it goes how I think it's going to go. So, yeah, man, Ricky Starks, babyface, Hobbs, heel, Team Taz has imploded. Heartbreaking stuff. But, yeah, moving on. The next thing we had was an Acclaim promo. They cut a promo on the Ass Boys. It was pretty much what you'd expect. I don't think we're going to do 10 minutes reviewing that, to be honest. But next up, we had Sami Guevara with Ty Connie versus Dante Martin, who had Sky Blue in his corner as well. So, yeah, this was what I expected, to be honest. It was a good match. They've done a lot of stuff, a lot of flippy stuff and shit, but in the good way. I'm not saying that as a dig or anything like that. There was that crazy spot when Dante done the dive off the stage.
Yeah, that was great.
Bro, he looked like he was like he's spring or whatever you want to call it.
His hang time.
It's insane. He floats.
Yeah, he literally he literally floated in midair before kind of making the full rotation to land on him. Like it's crazy how he does that. It's like he jump and it's like he stays in midair for like a second and then drops. It's crazy.
Yeah, it was nuts. But yeah, carry on, Hangman.
I really like this actually. Dante did really good with the other guy, and I thought it was I thought it was Dante's best on his end, his best performance of the year overall. And I'm not just talking about execution of moves. I think he showed a lot of like personality. Like he
did.
He had a lot of there's a lot of like just kind of quirkiness he was giving like to Sami, the other guy, and he like just imitating him and mocking him and just being kind of funny and quirky and charming. His facial expressions, his timing. I thought that he, more than just an exhibitionist of athleticism, he was more of a performer yesterday, and I think that's the next big step in his development and becoming a star in wrestling, is to be more of a performer than just a guy who does things. And just that aside, I think one of the biggest things for Martin is how is he going to be able to put it all together to just be a guy who can have wrestling matches rather than just, be a guy who's just a great hot tag or a guy who needs someone else kind of in there with him to kind of do the in-between stuff. But I think yesterday was a big step for him, and he was the first of many young talents on this show who came out smelling like roses. His Kurt Angle stage dive was so cool. It looks like we're building to a mixed tag with Sky Blue and Dante. Sky Blue and Dante versus Ty Connie and the other guy. And so, I'm sure why not? That was interesting. Heavy JAS presence on the show overall, which I'd imagine was maybe by design. I think in a way it almost accelerates the build for Moxley and Jericho because it's so short notice. But I think just kind of having JAS presence so heavy on the show and just making them really a forefront, I think it just kind of adds to just, not skipping chapters of this big story. Since we only have so much time, you want to so they're just trying to fit it all in one show, which is fine. So I really like this. I think that because AEW now has so much variety in styles, it makes the flippy matches more of a treat on the show. Like I really appreciate them. I don't think eating cupcakes as your entire diet is healthy. You shouldn't eat cupcakes for dinner. You shouldn't eat them for breakfast, and you shouldn't live off cupcakes.
All these analogies, man.
But cupcakes are great. If I eat a cupcake after I had my steak, I mean that's awesome. Who doesn't like a cupcake as a snack? And so Tony Khan, please continue to provide me these cupcakes as a dessert after you've provided me a lovely full course meal. I appreciated this.
You and the fucking analogies, man.
They're amazing.
What do you think? Go on.
Go ahead, Monty. Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna do what you was about to do and pass the bat to
sure.
AO,
what did you make of Dante Martin versus the other guy?
Yo, put some fucking respect on Sami Guevara's name. As a professional wrestler, you can say whatever you want about him outside of the ring or whatever, but you guys pretending like he's not good because you don't like his relationship, you don't like what he's got going on in his personal life. Like, come on, bro. Like there's a very valid complaint in the Sasha Banks situation he has, but 100%. That has been made very public for over a year.
Can I interrupt AO real quick? I'm gonna interrupt AO real quick to say this. My personal issue with Sami Guevara, quite frankly, has nothing to do with this conversation.
Oh no, I know that just because
my personal opinions on Sami Guevara are I am personally offended by his wrestling. But that notwithstanding, this was a lovely match, and he's a great athlete. Continue.
So let me explain something to the WrestlePurists faithful. You guys probably picked it up by now, just listening to Hangman speak. So Hangman, right? Hangman's a very smart man. Like he has encyclopedic knowledge about wrestling. Like you put on a random episode of ECW, right? You'll be watching a random match. You'll be like, oh, this is the episode where Taz and Sabu main evented. Oh, the RVD and Jerry Lynn hooped in this episode. Random episode of fucking whatever, not Attitude Era. Ruthless Aggression SmackDown. Oh, this happens. Oh, Funaki had a 15-minute match this episode. Right? Encyclopedic knowledge of wrestling. His fucking opinions stink. He has stinky ass opinions. His opinions are fucking terrible. He has not had a single good opinion in wrestling since I've started talking to this man. Sami Guevara is a fucking hooper, bro. Stop pretending like he's not. And this is hey, he'll pretend like he's just so. Yeah, I'm addressing the WrestlePurists Galaxy. They don't deserve essay dictator. Just having just cutting these fucking verbal fucking essays. Just these fucking verbal essays on you guys every week when Monty's trying to conduct a podcast. You guys don't deserve that shit. I'm tired. Fuck this fraud. All right, I'm tired of this nigga Hangman trying to spend his sticky ass agendas, bro. Sami is a hooper. I know Savages don't want to hear because there's Sasha Banks. I'm a Sasha Banks stan too. I fucking love Sasha. My favorite women's wrestler of all time in North America, right? But if you were not canceling Sami 2 years ago, don't do it now that he started to get go away heat because of the TNT title scene. All right. That being said, that was Sami gave this man Dante Martin his second best singles match of his entire career. I believe the first was Adam Hangman Page. Other people disagree with me. They still thought it was Ray Phoenix, but I believe it's Hangman, Sami, and then Phoenix right after. You know, the Phoenix match had more spectacular spots, but this was just like, I don't know. There's something about this really clicked. You know, like Hangman said, maybe the only good opinion he's ever had in his life. This was more than just like flips or whatever, and Dante was like showing a character. He was having good facial expressions. He was mocking Sami. He showed babyface fire and shit like that, and it was really good. And then, you know, Sami's showing the character now too and shit. He's got the whole douchebag heel going on, but he's taking it to another level. He had the douchebag heel going on thing, but it was like douchebag punk little brother thing in the inner circle. But now it's like on another level with the JAS. And I think it made for very good television. It was a great match. Fucking man.
Really smooth stuff.
Let's kick it to Anna. Let's kick it to Anna.
Anna, what did you think?
Yeah, it was a fun match. It was a good match. The Sky Blue thing kind of threw me off. I didn't expect to see her there, and I don't really like. It's not my favorite thing when they get women's wrestlers as sort of the side piece or just the companion of a men's wrestler. It's just not my favorite thing. But if it gets Sky Blue having matches on TV and not on Dark, so I'm into it, you know. And if it eventually makes Tony Khan remember that Ty Connie is actually a wrestler, not a valet, so I'm 100% in it.
Yeah,
please.
Yeah, definitely.
Where do you see Dante Martin right now? Like, what do you think is his immediate future? Where do you place him, I guess, on the roster? And do you think what do you think he's missing to, I guess, take the next step, Anna?
I think this is his place. You know, put him in the ring with big names, let him get his shit off and lose. And I think he can do that for like 1 or 2 more years. And he'll keep getting over because his offense is incredible. And I am glad that Dante, like, I said that Dante has been doing this thing lately where it was like less flips and it was more look how high I can jump. And it really stopped being over with me like 4 matches ago. Because, like, bro, we know how high you could jump. Like, the match with Moxley is when I was really like, all right, Dante, like, you got to go back to the flips, bro. Because this, like, the stall on the rope shit, look how high I can jump. Like, the get to the top turnbuckle, look how high I can jump. Like, we get it, bro. We get it. And now he stopped doing that. He's gone back to the flips, gone back to more interesting offense, and it's much better, like, viewing. But, yeah, and big spots and keep making them lose.
And are you looking forward to your girl Ty Connie wrestling as a heel?
I'm looking forward to see her wrestle again because maybe
I'm not doing this again.
The hate crime.
Carry on, Anna.
I don't know if I can. I will never feel safe again.
That was very motivated.
Yeah, that was a hate crime. That was a hate crime.
That's
he just
crazy.
keeps proving that he hates Latinos. There's
no
way around it. Their entire song. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can continue. I've been too traumatized
by these attacks, right? These motivating attacks.
Yeah, but I'm excited to see if Ty has improved in the time that she's been away from the ring. If she has been training backstage, if she's any better. I'm just excited to see her wrestle again because then maybe, just maybe, I can forgive her. Maybe I can like her again.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give her a chance.
What was the offense, Anna?
The offense is just being annoying. I think. Not knowing how to open a lock.
You're better than me because you're both Brazilian, right? You and Ted.
Yeah.
So like when someone is Nigerian, I just give them all the leeway in the world, especially when they're from my tribe. So it's just like they can do no wrong in my eyes unless they're a little criminal. Then I was just like, no, I see where they were coming from.
Yeah. I tried. Like I gave her so many chances. Like when she tried to fit the bottle in the blood and guts cage.
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
Yeah, when she did that, I was like, okay, maybe she was nervous. I don't know, but then she couldn't open the lock. You know, there's a key in the lock. She couldn't open it, so I can't keep defending her.
You might be honest in here, Anna, because here's the thing: if you're a valet, what you need to be good at is like, you know, the side stuff like that, like bringing props in, you know, interfering. She's not even successfully executing her interferences properly. So maybe you should just wrestle again.
Yeah, she's not great at that, is she?
Yeah, she's not really that great at it. Yeah.
No, I want to see her wrestle again. Then I'll like her again. But one thing I'm gonna say about her is that I love her outfits. I feel like her outfits have a really Brazilian energy.
Yeah, they're great.
I really feel it. Yeah.
Her outfit yesterday.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
she really showed her Brazilianness. I don't know if this is the word, but she really showed her Brazilian side in her outfit. So I can defend that. But then anything else is just I'm kind of done with it. So just get her back in the ring.
For sure.
Can we move on? Okay, so after the match, there was an attack. The JS all kind of ganged up on Dante. Then Eddie Kingston, Ortiz, and Ruby Soho made a save. Then JR botched announcing a match beforehand. And Excalibur, I didn't even catch what the match was, to be honest. I don't know if any of you guys do, or if anyone in the chat does. But JR announced the match by accident, and Excalibur was like, oh, I don't think that's been announced yet. And JR said, oh, well, that's been the locker room talk. He's just...
How did I completely missed that somehow?
Wait, what happened?
So after the Eddie Ruby Ortiz save from the Jericho Appreciation Society, JR announced the match. I think it was like a mixed tag match or something.
Okay.
He said that a match was coming, and Excalibur does this awkward thing where he's like, I don't think that's been announced yet. And Jim Ross was just like, oh, well, that's locker room talk.
That's pretty funny. That's really, I think I do remember that. That's funny.
Yeah, I know Jim Ross, I get that he can frustrate people and he does his botches.
I thought he was on yesterday.
He's far from perfect, but I think at this point we can call him Jim Ross isms or whatever we want to call him. But he's just fucking.
It's just.
It's Jim Ross, man.
It was really funny to me during the Mew and Rosa match. He gave up. He didn't even try to say Mew's name. He read her name one time and he was like, "No, this young lady and that
young lady from Japan."
The young lady from Japan.
Excalibur, tell us more about this young lady. Just like
he didn't even try it, and I think it was for the best.
Absolutely.
Yeah, probably.
If Jim tried to say Yamashita, like he would probably end up back in the hospital. So like it's better for me to do it.
But yeah, it looks like we're gonna get like I said, I can't remember exactly what the match was that Jim Ross accidentally announced, but someone in the chat said Anna Jay versus Ruby Soho, maybe. Like I said, I'm not 100% sure, but as we know, it's only locker room talk at the moment. So. Yeah. Next up, we had a Daniel Garcia promo, and he was just kind of obviously putting over the main event that he was going to be in. And I think it's just obviously with it just being a backstage promo, there's probably not too much we can get into. But I just wanted to make a quick point on Garcia overall recently with his promos. He's definitely elevated up pretty recently, substantially. It feels like it is really just simple as him kind of finding his like authentic voice almost for pro wrestling anyway, because there was a period where he wasn't kind of the greatest promo, and a lot of us on here were kind of saying he just kind of like we know Daniel Garcia's got a great personality, we see it on Twitter, he's got a great sense of humor, and he's just got a good way about him, and it was just kind of bringing that and connecting it with his TV character, and it feels like he's made some pretty big strides in being able to do that lately, because his promos are definitely leveled up. They feel a lot more natural. They feel a lot more him. So I'll go to you, Hollywood, because I know that's one of your favorites. Daniel Garcia's promos have definitely got better lately, haven't they?
He's actually my mortal enemy, and I resent him for various reasons related to Impact Wrestling. But he's cool or whatever. He's cool or whatever. Garcia is in the middle stage of his development as a performer. Mm-hmm. He was the really technically sound young independent wrestler that came in, and he was a scrappy punk, and now he is becoming more of a persona, more of a performer. He's adding you can see the way his confidence grew. Absolutely. Shout out to Isra. Thank you, Isra, for joining us. You special human being. Garcia is definitely becoming more confident. And just overall, like I said, he's in the second stage of his development as a performer. I'll get more into it when we get into the match because I noticed a lot of things, Monty. I think you're talking about finding his voice as a talker. I think he's also finding his voice even more as a wrestler because I mean, to me, he's been technically sound and super just great at just being a technical wrestler for like about 2 years now. But now I think he's forging more of his own personal touch to how he goes about what he does. And I saw it in the main event, and I saw a couple things that are just starting to naturally manifest itself with his wrestling style that I'll get into later when it comes to finding that voice. But yeah, Daniel Garcia, man, he's really starting to take that next step, and I'm happy to see it because I saw it with him for a while now, and Tony clearly sees it with him as well. And he's really rising to the occasion, and he's among a couple guys now that I'm noticing they have repeat matches with Jon Moxley and Bryan Danielson, and you see how much they're evolving in their repeat matches with these guys. It's really cool that Mox and Bryan have become the gatekeepers of AEW in that sense. And everything that they're saying in their promos about the next generation and dictating wrestling, it's absolutely true. Like they're basically putting these kids through the ringer, you know, like they're no bullshit. I'm going to beat the hell out of you and beat you. And it's up to you to almost rise to my level as much as you can. And what's happening is in these repeat matches, they're coming a little bit closer and a little bit closer and a little bit closer. Wheeler Yuta and Jon Moxley are absolutely nowhere near as good as Bryan Danielson and Jon Moxley. And that's okay because with these repeat interactions, they're getting closer. It's like when you're playing your little brother one-on-one at the basketball court and he's blocking your shots and he's shooting over you and he's dominating you. And it's, of course he's dominating you. He's your big brother and he's taller than you. And you're like, this is not fair. But then, you know, you go through puberty and then all of a sudden now he's not blocking you as much. And then all of a sudden you hit a jumper on him and it's like, oh, I made a shot on you, you know? And then all of a sudden you lost 13 to 10 instead of 13-6, you know? And that's what's happening with Garcia. And so, you know, I'm happy for him.
These fucking analogies, man. You can't help yourself, can you?
They're amazing. You know they're good. They're off the dome too. That's what's amazing about it. Honestly, I'm a storyteller, bro. I'm a storyteller.
Anna, have you got anything to add on you know, Garcia's promos coming along recently?
Yeah, I think when he first joined Jericho instead of the Blackpool Combat Club, I was one of those people that I didn't really feel it. I didn't know if it was the right thing for him to do, but now he just had a vision, you know. He was absolutely right in going to a Jericho because I feel like he's finding his character. He's getting more confident on the mic. He's getting more confident with just being himself and his personality because he had already had the whole great wrestler thing down. He just he just need to fill out the holes that were left, and I think that he's really growing right now, and there's only going up, you know, because he's really great. And I feel like in a few years he's gonna be in the conversation of one of the best in the world. He's really great right now.
I agree.
Yeah.
Io, you got anything to add on Garcia?
No, I mean just Garcia, if you're listening, bro, change your fucking music back and bring the red towel back and put that shit over your head. But other than that, no, it was a great performance. Definitely my favorite Daniel Garcia match of all time, probably. You know, he's a fucking hooper, bro. Shout out to him because
are we getting into the match now? Because
no, we're not getting into the match. We'll let Io say, just a promo for a minute.
Oh no. All right. Well, just the promo. Yeah, he's gotten a lot better on the stick. Putting him with Jericho was a great opportunity because Jericho has talked on his podcast. Even though I don't want to admit that I've listened to an episode of Talk Is Jericho before, but I haven't.
We all have. This nigga listens to Talk Is Jericho.
Nah, his episode with Swerve Strickland I listened to, and Jericho was like, if I'm working with somebody, whether like they're in my faction or I'm working against them, like I'll sit down with them and be like, so what do you want to get across in this promo? And I won't write it for them, but we'll brainstorm together. And I feel like maybe that's what he's been doing with Garcia. And you know, maybe he's been helping with his delivery or whatever. It's just like I don't like Mox is a generational promo. He's fucking fantastic promo. Like a lot of people's best promos, but I don't know if that's something that he would be willing to do. You know, like just sit down with Youngtown and help them like get this shit off. which is why it was really a good idea putting him with Jericho, and you see the character work paying off in the way that you see the character work paying off with Jungle Boy with Christian, but we'll get into that later.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. But yeah, I think it's pretty fair to say that Garcia is coming along very nicely in ring and on the mic. So the only way is up, really. Next up, we had a Jay Lethal, Sanjay Dutt, Satnam Singh promo where they're kind of talking about the loss of Samoa Joe and moving on, and they took a shot at the best friends who were 6 feet away, who then came into camera shot, and they kind of went back and forth a little bit. Then the best friends challenged the three to a match. They even challenged Sanjay, who of course hasn't wrestled for a while, and there was obviously this funny thing where Sanjay Dutt gets really fired up, accepts the challenge, then immediately turns around like, what the fuck did I just do? But apparently on Rampage, I haven't actually looked at the spoilers, so I don't know if the match actually happens with Sanjay or goes ahead as planned, but it looks like, I believe at Rampage, anyway, we're going to get Jay Lethal, Sanjay Dutt and Satnam Singh versus the best friends. So I'll start with you, Anna. What did you make of the whole Sanjay Dutt comedy, pretty much?
Yeah, no, I gotta be honest. I've never seen a single Sanjay Dutt match, so I don't know if he's good.
He's good.
I'm not.
He's good.
Mm-hmm.
He's good. Yeah. So I was not particularly like excited or like, oh my god, Sanjay Dutt's gonna wrestle again, because I haven't seen him wrestle before. But I think it was a good segment. They really fit well with the whole best friends type of comedy. And it's just a filler match, but a fun match. So not too bothered about it, but I'm not too overly excited or anything. Yeah.
Hollywood, you got anything to add?
No.
As I said, there's not too much to get into. It's just kind of like a fun segment. I'm sure the match will be a good bit of fun as well.
Actually, no. I have an essay. I have an essay. Yeah.
I don't have anything to add. I thought it was funny. I like Sanjay a lot. I've liked him since I was a kid, TNA and shit.
Yeah.
It's just funny. Nothing else to add.
Okay, so you saved us from the essay, right? So there's definitely going to be some essays on this next thing, though. So next up, we had the Jungle Boy. We had Jungle Boy's in ring promo. I don't know if worried was the right word. Like even on the pre-show yesterday, I was pointing out how it was always a big deal for Jungle Boy because obviously after the way that Christian Cage has been cooking lately, he had to come out and say something, do something, and obviously it's what the angle called for. So there was all that anyway, but the pressure that Twitter was putting on Jungle Boy to show up and actually come through with something was fucking insane, bro. I was getting worried for him. And I said on the preview show yesterday that I thought, honestly, I didn't think he was going to go out there and drown, and I didn't think he was going to go out there and overly deliver. I thought it was just going to be fine. But to be fair, he definitely did deliver ahead of my expectations anyway. He was fired up and, pretty much the promo just had a lot of fire about it. And, he called Christian Cage a pussy. He made other personal digs towards him, which obviously makes sense in this case. It wasn't just kind of like cheap digs, But yeah, man, this was good. I'll start with you, Ayo, on this one. What was your thoughts on the Jungle Boy promo coming back at Christian Cage?
All I gotta say is Maxwell Jacob Hooman?
No,
never fucking heard of him, bro. Jungle Boy has suspended. Jungle Boy, mute your fucking mic, Hangman. Mute your mic, little boy. A real nigga talking. Mute your mic, Hangman. Maxwell Jacob Hooman. Jungle Boy has ascended to the best promo of the pillars. You feel me? What? I don't even remember that MJF kid. What? I think he over there in the Fed, shining Cody's
what
shoes.
What are you talking about?
Spit shining Bruce Pritchard shoes or whatever. Jungle Boy is that nigga now, bro. It's Jungle Man. Jack Perry cut that fucking promo. When he said Christian Cage, you were the biggest pussy I ever met in my life. I felt like he was me talking to Hollywood Hangman Adam Pearce, bro. Because you are the biggest pussy I ever met in my life, Hangman. Because I told you that nigga was gonna put on buckets, and he did. Guess what? I am Christian, and you are Jungle Boy. You know why? Because you're the boy
I'm the man. I have the turtleneck. I've been working you. I've been working everybody for a year. I've been making money off you. I've been profiting off your talent, and ultimately, and I've been cooking you for weeks. Cooking you for weeks instead of this week for you to have your little promo. But guess what? At the end of the day, Ayo, at the end of the day, you're in my home court. WrestlePurists is my goddamn home court. It's my goddamn home court.
Hey, look at the chat, bro. Look at the chat. They love me. Hey, if you're in the chat, and you fuck with Ayo, just put Ayo's in the chat. Boy. If not, put Hangman in the chat.
Hey,
we gonna see.
We need Cowboy hat emojis in the chat. Cowboy hat emojis. Ultimately, it's my home court. It's my game you're playing, and yeah, you're doing good, bro.
Tomatoes at you, little bro.
Your promos are cute, bro. They're cute, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Look at the chat. Cool. Tony, Ayo, Daniel, Ayo, Tommy, Ayo, Tony, Ayo.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Ayo. Just up and down the chat, little bro.
Hey, listen,
Mom,
buddy.
You gotta take your fucking chain. Anyway, that's
kiddo.
top of that hand. With that one promo, Jordan Pack 2, you fucking racist.
Even honest.
Anyway, thank you for the AO, Anna. Anyway, like I was saying,
you got one.
Promo, Jungle Boy has surpassed everything that MJF has ever done.
You're not a joke-loving pervert.
Best promo, all the pillars. You know me?
That's Cab.
In all seriousness, though, I was being serious before, but Jungle Boy has cut good promos before, but they've all been like backstage and they've all been very short. There's like promos that like popped everybody on Twitter. It's like, oh, I didn't know Jungle Boy had it. They know blah 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 blah. Like Christian's really helping Jungle Boy out, but this was above and beyond anything that he's done in the past, and above and beyond anything that I think anybody was expecting. And it was very encouraging to see because Jungle Boy's in ring is there. It was just character work and the promo ability in front of a live audience. So I think that he really does have that because back when it was just all wrestling with Jungle Boy, like before the Christian shit and all that, I was just like, yeah, he's a good worker, but like everybody's at AEW's a good worker or at the top of the card. Now when fucking Havoc, Nella and them were in the mid card or whatever, but at the top of the card, everybody's a good worker at AEW. So he needed something to separate himself from everybody else. So it was encouraging to see. I enjoyed the promo a lot. It was a great segment. And I had no clue Christian Cage was divorced, bro. I was not expecting to find that out.
That was a hilarious reveal.
I don't think anybody knew that shit.
Yeah. To Lil Ao's point, what I'll say is that Jungle Boy absolutely had an encouraging promo. It was really funny. Like it felt like a roast session, and it's almost one of those things where like Christian's been dogging him for weeks, and it's like, yo, fight back, and he really did. He had it was it was juvenile and like crass, but like it fits the tone of like how Christian's been, because Christian's been he's been resorting to lowest common denominator insults, and so Jungle Boy kind of hit him at his own game, and it was just really, really funny. Like this man revealed that Christian's divorced. I was like, whoa, I didn't even know that. That's crazy. He called him a pussy and all that stuff, and yeah, man. Again, to Lil Ao's point, Jungle Boy did great. This was a really important moment for him. I thought that Jungle Boy needed to rise to the occasion, and if he didn't, it would like really severely damage his immediate prospects at becoming anything worthwhile at a stage higher in the card than he really is right now. And he has a lot of guys to circumvent and a lot of guys to kind of pass to reach that level. But he certainly took the steps necessary with the promo yesterday. He did really good. Christian is just so funny, man. He appears on the screen like a supervillain staring at the camera in his just bastard turtleneck outfit. We're now looking at 4 to 5 weeks of Christian owning the same clothes as me. So I'm starting to now realize that maybe I'm a douchebag because we have just too many similar outfits.
I've been telling you this for months.
Yeah. Lil Ao has been trying to alert me to the fact that maybe I'm just a dick. Christian is just so funny. He's a super villain. He feels like a Scooby-Doo villain, honestly. Like it's just Christian. Jungle Boy is a meddling kid, and he's gonna get him. And I'm looking forward to just where this all goes. I think this is now a pretty hot program where both sides are getting their shit in. So good for Jungle Boy. And again, AO was pretty vindicated here. So good stuff all around.
Yeah, Anna, what was your take on the whole Jungle Man promo?
Jungle Man. I personally love learning that Christian is single. It was my favorite thing the whole segment.
That's hilarious.
I loved it. Yeah, and Jungle Boy, he got there. He knew what he had to do. You know, his team was down 2 points. It was a championship final. There was 5 seconds left on the clock. He just had to do it. And he got the mic and he said, Christian, you're the biggest fucking pussy I've ever seen. And yeah, that was it. You know, that was a wrap. I didn't trust him at all. Yeah. And when he said that, and then he went on and saying that he was divorced and that he was broke because his wife divorced him because he had a small dick. So I was really into it. Yeah. It's a fun rivalry, you know. It is just calling people's fathers, just saying that people are fatherless.
Yeah.
And
it feels like a Twitter space. It's just mudslinging. Yeah, it's really entertaining.
I loved it. I really loved it.
Yeah, it was good stuff, man. It was like I said, it was good to see. It was good to see Jungle Boy, you know, rise to the occasion because, like I said, Twitter especially, and I'm sure everywhere else was putting a lot of pressure on that guy. So to see him come through, it was yeah, man, it was good to see.
Yeah.
So next up we had, I believe it's something that, so we had the whole Dark Order Hangman bumping into the Young Bucks segment. You know, all tremendous wrestlers involved. I'm not gonna, I'll never dispute that. But this whole, I think I've said it on one of these podcasts before, but the whole elite, awkward, sad boy, law. It's not for me. It just isn't. I won't call it outright trash on here or anything like that. But I'll just say it's just not for me. Not taking from any of them as performers, but when they do all this kind of like the elite sad boy, you know, storytelling that everyone thinks is great. I'm just kind of waiting to get to the matches with them because, like I said, they are all fantastic performers. Like every single one of them. The Bucks, Hangman, Kenny, who, you know, name any of them. They're all tremendous. So, you know, it's not really for me, but we did get a Hangman and Young Bucks interaction, which, of course, a lot of people were excited for. So, yeah, man, I'll get everyone's takes on it. I'll start with you, Hollywood.
Yeah, you know, I was trolling a little bit earlier when we were talking about, you know, the FTR and CM Punk and the Elite. What I'll say about this is this, because I have so many concurrent. What? Sure, but
I said you were trolling about the Elite, but those were my real feelings about CM Punk and FTR.
Unfortunately, but what I was going to say is that I have so many concurrent and somewhat contradictory feelings about the Elite when it comes to their storytelling, because what I've noticed is that there's a lot of people who love AEW primarily because of the Elite, and no matter what happens and who the company signs, the Elite are like the protagonists of their heart. You know what I mean? It's always going to surround them, and so when the Elite have their storylines and their melodrama and their sad boy stuff and, you know, all that type of stuff, you know, that's what a lot of people really get into. It's what a lot of people sink their teeth into. I'd even argue that I think the decline in female audience in recent months in AEW is because of the emphasis of the Elite storylines. I think a lot of people, like, whether it be, you know, reading into the stories, and you don't think so?
No, not at all. I think the whole Elite storyline is really fun for women's viewers because it's just like a little rom-com.
Oh no, that's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that.
Oh, okay. I heard you say it was the decline of the women's fandom. Like what?
No. I said the decline was when their stuff got de-emphasized on the show, like when they kind of took a step back. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I think a lot of people and a lot of different parts of the fan base really love Hangman Page just personally. Like they're so emotionally connected to him. They're connected to Omega, to the Bucks, to where they stand as friends. And I think that Monty, I was saying this in one of my chats this morning, you know, when people, because again, there's been a lot of people complaining about AEW creatively recently. I think a lot of people, whether they realize it or not, it's just that they didn't have that elite storyline that they could write threads about and have head canon, head canon where things are going, ship one of the members of the people in the storyline, things like that, right? And to me, have at it, right? If that's what you love, that's fine. I think Tony Khan should play to his base. I think he should give his fans what they want. And so if more elite equals better ratings, more interest in the product, this and that, then give them all the elite that they want, because frankly, like you said, they're great performers and they're great wrestlers, and they have contributed some of the best stuff in history of the promotion and in the history of the business. But with that said, I have two issues. Number one, elite fans, I think, can be whether intentional or not, just a little bit grating, because these people will tell you that the elite and Omega and the Young Bucks and Hangman are the most sophisticated storytellers of all time, and that what they do is just so complex and deep and philosophical and sophisticated and complicated and just mature and enlightening and just illuminating and just it just. And here's my thing, in the ring, a lot of that does apply. I think they're really, in ring, they're actually tremendous in-ring storytellers.
Amazing.
More than their detractors give them credit for. But when it comes to these BTE segments and backstage segments and things like that, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. I think that they're really, it feels like awkwardly acted.
Would you have gotten the story if they worked the arm?
Yeah, I would have needed like a really long headlock to just kind of draw what I needed from the story. In all seriousness, let me get the start out of the way before we continue. I think a lot of these like sad boy lore community theater segments, to me, it just feels like awkwardly acted teen drama stuff. And it's like some of it is intentionally campy, 100%. But it's intentionally campy. But it's like ultimately, I just see it for what it is, which is a bunch of men in their 30s having a will they won't they situation about the status of their friendship. It's a bunch of men in their 30s, literally like, is Kenny our friend now? Is Hangman our friend now? Is Cole our friend now? Wait, if we're friends with Cole, can Hangman be our friend? If Hangman's our friend, can Kenny be our friend? We don't want to upset our friends.
The thing is, Hangman doesn't understand this because Hangman does not have any fucking friends. This nigga is 45 years old. He just watches this shit with rage and envy in his fucking heart. He's like, these guys don't understand what they have. They have all these friends. They don't want to kiss and make up. I haven't had a friend in 45 years.
And here's the thing, listen, kid. I'll give you a chance to respond, but again, it's just, to me, it's like it's a bunch of grown men in the space that's supposed to be simulated combat. I'm not trying to say that wrestling should be completely toxically masculine or something like that, right? But ultimately,
Jim Cornette just entered the chat. What the fuck?
Yeah, right. No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying I'm not saying be a real man. But it's like, bro, I'm watching a wrestling show and it's like, hey, buddy, did you get my message? Happy birthday, bro. Happy birthday to you too, buddy. How you been? I'm good. And I'm like, bro, what am I watching, bro? Like, what am I watching? Bro, you guys are adults. Adults, when they deal with people that they've had falling outs with, bro, they talk like adults. They don't act like children. It literally, it's not as bad as when WWE wrestlers
Is that
act
true?
like children.
Is that true, Hangman?
Yo.
What do you mean? Bro can feel the southern tinge, but not the power of friendship.
So Hangman, you telling me right now that grown men don't get pissy and passive aggressive?
They get pissy and passive aggressive, but those are what we call cornballs. Normally, and listen, the Young Bucks are allowed to be cornballs. It's a character flaw, and character flaws are what make stories interesting. So again, I'm very interested in the story as a story, and I'm glad that we're getting this out of the way. Like, I'm glad that we're starting this, because again, AEW needs the elite to be important on the show. Like, it doesn't feel the same without the elite doing stuff. And ultimately, it's good that this happened. I'm happy for the fan base. I'm looking forward to where it goes. I'm just also tossing out that, like, when people like look at, like, Hangman walking into the Bucks and being like, oh, hey buddy, and people are like, this is just the most sophisticated most thoughtful storytelling. It's like, bro, like just say I'm really emotionally invested in these characters because I respect it. But telling me that this is just the most complex storytelling you've ever seen in the history of the medium because Hangman Page is nervous about telling his former friend happy birthday. It's like, what are we talking about? What are we talking about? But yeah, that's just my 2 cents on it.
I don't have a rebuttal. I mean, at the end of the day, the people who like it, they love it. The people who don't like it, they either okay with it or they hate it. It's whatever. But
yeah,
I think we can all say objectively, without this whole power of friendship shit that the Bullet Club and now the Elite does, if they never started that up, we wouldn't have AEW right now, bro. So it's just
absolutely. Absolutely. Which is why it's important that we continue it and cater to the fan base that likes it and shouldn't shun the people that say, like, you know, I'm not into AEW as much anymore because they took the folks out of the Elite. Because it's like, dude, you know, a lot of people feel that way. You know, the Elite is really important to a lot of people. So, you know, I encourage Elite storylines, even though I have to deal with some, you know, sad boy segments that aren't for me. Ultimately, it's good that they exist. So, you know, it's cool.
Anna, you got anything to add on the sad boy stuff as we've named it on here?
Yeah, the only thing I was thinking about is that now I'm not 100% sure if it's gonna be the Elite in the Trios tournament or
Humbug.
Yeah, and that's really great. I feel that there's so many storylines going into this tournament, so it's going to be really fun to watch. But I'm really curious to see which direction they will take it. If Ken is going to come back earlier and they will reunite after the tournament's end, or if the Hungbugs are going to win the title and then Ken is going to come back. I don't know what direction they're going to take it, but I'm really excited because I love the storyline. Like I said, it's just like a little fun rom-com, so I'm really into it.
Yeah. Anyone got anything else to add to the Elite lore, or you know, or should we move on?
Oh, what I'll say is that the big story about the Trios tournament.
Of course, this nigga got more to say.
Absolutely, motherfucker. So remember, you're in my court, brother. So yeah, the big story here is going to be like, are they friends with Cole or Kenny or Hangman? And they're going to all be in the ring in a segment, and the Young Bucks are going to be looking around like, whose side do we take? Who are we going to do? And they're probably going to go hug one, either Hangman or Kenny, and there's going to be women crying in the crowd. Twitter is going to go insane. It's going to be this big thing. It's going to be the new version of Randy Savage proposing to Elizabeth.
Yeah.
And, no, I swear to God, it's going to be the new version. It will. Like, people are gonna be crying. I'm telling you. When the Young Bucks choose, you know, between Hangman and Kenny, or even further, if Kenny and Hangman are in the ring and it's like, hey buddy, and it's like, hey man, how you been? I missed you. Oh my God. And they just hug each other. Like, you know, Excalibur's gonna be like, what a moment! The Elite are reunited. Hangman Page is cool with the. Oh my God! And then people are gonna lose their minds, you know. So I am looking forward to it.
Yeah, I will be one of the women crying in the crowd. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Fair. So next up we had Swerve versus Tony Nese and Smart Mark Sterling in a handicap match. Swerve got the win here, and after the match, Keith Lee was watching backstage because, of course, I'd assume because it was a handicap match and he was just kind of keeping an eye on things. And obviously, it's his tag team champion partner. And after the match, we go backstage to where Keith Lee was, and he had been laid out by Josh Woods. And then in the ring, because, of course, this distracted Swerve, he was then attacked by Tony Nese again from behind. And it seems that we get in the tag team of Tony Nese and former Ring of Honor Pure Champion Josh Woods as a tag team, and it looks like they're going to be. It seemed pretty clear to me that they're going to be Swerve and Lee's first defense. I doubt it's going to be like a whole long feud. I'd be kind of surprised if that was the case. It's probably just going to be a like a Rampage match or just a Dynamite match or something like that. But what do you guys think of the Josh Woods and Tony Nese tag team? I'll start with you, Ayo.
Man, this was by far the worst shit on the show. And I fucking love Swerve. Top 5 favorite wrestlers out right now. I love him getting time on Dynamite, but bro, like this shit did not belong on this show. Like, and the AEW best tag team division in the world. Why the fuck are Tony Nese and Josh Woods challenging for the tag belts? If Josh Woods belonged in AEW challenge for the tag belts, he would have been signed when Ring of Honor shut down, and he wasn't. And he's been a free agent this whole time, and he's not been on either of the Ring of Honor cards except for to drop the belt to
Wheeler Yuta.
What do you have, the TV title?
He had the TV title.
He had the
pure title, and he dropped
the title to Red Titus had the fucking TV title. So to drop the title to Wheeler Yuta, like, bro, I'm not trying to watch that shit, bro. There's so many fucking tag teams that they could feud with. It's just like, I don't know why they would get Josh Woods off the street and team him up with Tony Nese to feud with Swerve and Keith Lee. I mean, cool, I guess. They're both good workers. It should be a good match. The Swerve versus Smart Mark and
Keith Lee. Listen, Keith Lee was seeming like every fat nigga after Thanksgiving dinner, bro. Like, it was hilarious.
So that shit was hilarious. That nigga did not look knocked out, bro. He just looked mad sleepy. I love Swerve, love Keith Lee. Wish they had better first opponents as tag champs. Yeah, but the match should be good. Hopefully it's just a 1 week thing, then it's done. And then we get no more Swerve versus Keith Lee in AEW for years. Yeah, that's all I gotta say.
I have no opinion on this, and I have no opinion on anything else pertaining to the show regarding anything that wasn't the main event, and I just want to talk about the main event.
Well, we can't do that because we're going to get Anna's opinion on Josh Woods, Tony Nese's tag team. And we got a couple more things.
I don't really care. That's all I have to say.
Thank you. Let's get a move on, man.
But we got to give her the platform to say that she doesn't care. You know?
Like, hey, yo, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on Josh Woods and Tony Nese and Smart Mark Sterling's union and the prospects for their feud with Keith Lee? Like, bro, don't nobody care, bro.
Yeah. Moving on then. Right. So next up we had Miyu Yamashita versus Thunder Rosa, AEW Women's World Championship. This was a rematch from the match that they had on Tokyo Joshi Pro, where Miyu actually won the match via it was a roll-up. Yeah, it was a roll-up. And Thunder Rosa got the win here. I'll be honest, I like Miyu. I haven't seen as much of her as, let's say, I'd assume Anna, for example. But I've definitely seen enough of her to have an opinion of her. And this definitely wasn't her greatest outing. Not entirely her fault at all either. This was weird. And at certain points in the match, there was clear communication problems where they just weren't on the same wave, and it got really rough at points. They did kind of bring it back towards the end, but considering it wasn't exactly the longest match, it's kind of hard to overlook the flaws that the match had in it, for me personally. So overall, I wouldn't say this was a good match, and I think both women are capable of better, and I've seen both women do better because the Tokyo Joshi Pro match was legitimately very good. So and I'll start with you on this because I'd assume that you are the most educated on Miyu and her debuting in AEW. So, what was your thoughts on this whole deal?
Yeah, first of all, I think the whole discourse around this match was so bad. I've seen so many bad takes around it. It was just so annoying. I was just glad to see Miyu wrestle on TV. Of course, she could have been booked better. But I think people said that she was taking opportunities from women in the roster when Thunder Rosa is literally in a rivalry against Britt Baker. Again, like, Miyu is not the one taking those opportunities away from the other women, Yeah. So... yeah, the booking could have been better, but we have to be realistic. It's AEW, the AEW Women's Division don't get great booking, so. But the match was just, it was a match, definitely. It was something I didn't really like it. I don't think it was their best work, not by a mile. It wasn't really great. There was some miscommunication issues. The whole spot, that spot when Miu had to do her screw kick, and when you do the screw kick, the person has to be laying down in the ring, and Thunder Rosa just sat up, and you had to keep telling her to lay down, and she didn't, but she just had to do the kick anyway. So she tried to do the kick with Thunder Rosa sitting up. It was just awkward. It wasn't a great match. And I was kind of disappointed because the whole idea behind this match was having people look into Miu matches and be interested by her. So not seeing her have a match as good as we know she can have, it's a little bit disappointing. But I know that some people that are not Joshi fans or haven't seen Miu before were interested by her. So I really hope it kind of opened doors for people to start watching more Joshi, because her Mizuki match in the beginning of the year, Miu versus Mizuki, is one of the best women's matches of the year so far, and it was like on the first week of the year. So yeah, and right now there's the Summer Cup, the Princess Cup, the Princess Cup happening in Tokyo Joshi that people can tune in. The 5-star Grand Prix is about to start this weekend, so if people want to watch good women's wrestling, just go watch that. You don't have to keep expecting AEW to give you good women's matches. Just go watch that. It's gonna be great. The 5-star Grand Prix, I think we'll have better wrestling. So if you're just a wrestling fan, not even a women's wrestling fan, just a wrestling fan, just tune in. And if anyone needs any links to watch the Grand Prix, just talk to me. I'm glad to help.
Well, there you have it, everybody. Some wonderful Joshi wrestling insight by Anna DeMarco. I really appreciate just all the context you gave and the recommendations. I think it's more effective than anything. Let me not make that shot. Never mind. But anyway, the match. I didn't have much to say about it, Monty. This is what I meant when I was saying that like the women's division is starting to feel like WWE's cruiserweight division on Raw in like 2016-17, where like it's like a thing that you pause the main show, put purple ropes on the ring, and then have these two people wrestle. And then like, and no one like cares that much, and then you kind of go back to the show. I kind of feel bad for Rosa and Miu. I think they just had an off night. I didn't think the match was particularly good. I actually kind of was really bored by it personally. I was shocked that like I wasn't more impressed by Yamashita, because I think that the Joshi, when they have appeared on AEW this year, they have been like kind of like can't miss, because like Yuka Sakazaki and then later Riho had these matches on Rampage where like even in like 6-7 minutes they were just so good in that space and time that they were given. And I thought we were going to get more of the same from Miu, who's from TJPW, if I'm not mistaken. What's up?
Did you not watch her Summer Sun Princess match with Rosa that was on Dark?
I did. That was good. That was good.
Oh, okay.
And this was not to that level. And
yeah, no, it wasn't.
It wasn't to that level, and I don't think anybody who was unfamiliar with Miu would have been inclined to check her out more from this match, which, like Anna said, would have been the goal. So because of that, I feel bad for her, but I do hope that she gets another chance to show up on AEW TV and kind of course correct. But other than that, I have nothing else to really add about this match or this conversation, or just the broad topic of the women's division in AEW at this point.
You got anything to add, Ayo, on the Miu versus Rosa?
I'll touch on it real quick. As someone who's I stayed up till like 4 a.m. Eastern to watch Some Princess. I was up tweeting with just perverts like Jordan Patu, and that match, like the discourse around this match is just so fucking fraudulent. Like people pretending like TK didn't give them enough time because he doesn't care. Like their match at Some Princess was literally 3 minutes longer, and that was a pay-per-view that didn't have TV restrictions, that didn't have to be 2 hours long, nothing like that, right? TK sent his champion over to Japan to job in a 13-minute match, just so he could bring Miu over here, right? That's not something that somebody does that doesn't care, doesn't give a fuck or whatever. I'm not saying the care, like I'm not saying that he puts the importance on women's wrestling that he does on men's wrestling. That's just grade A shilling. That's not true. We all know that's not true. But to say he doesn't care at all. And then I saw people saying that that Rosa was trying to sandbag and trying to sabotage the match or whatever. Rosa flew across the fucking globe to do a job. She didn't have to do that shit. They flew across the globe to job. Like in a 13-minute match. She didn't have any other bookings in Japan. That was all she went over there to do. Like, obviously, that was very important to her. The communication was just off. You know, they didn't click as well as they would like to, and it happens. It fucking happens. They'll be better next time. There'll be more matches with Tokyo Joshi pro wrestlers. Unfortunately, you fucking Joshi stands and just cry over everything. Fucking crying to dehydrate yourselves. And I'm not going. Let me relax before this nigga Monty DM. He's like, chill, nigga. But however, yeah, bro, like you guys, there's just some fans out there. They don't want to actually like what they're watching. They don't want to like it. They want to cry. They want the discourse. They want to just fucking be in the fetal position over their fucking impression Joshi and shit. I love Joshi wrestling, but I don't tweet about that shit on my main account because I don't want to talk to you fucking weirdos. So yeah.
Fair. Yeah, I think Ao touched on it a bit where it's just we know both women are good, and it was just literally just a lack of communication, and it just simply happens sometimes. It just happens sometimes. I kind of did feel bad for Miyu because obviously it's her, it's our AEW TV debut. It's a big thing for her, and to Hollywood's point, I doubt it was the kind of match that was going to get her the most intrigue from the AEW audience because it was just one of those days where it just didn't click. It was one of those. Hopefully she comes back and she can like redeem herself, as Hollywood said again. But this wasn't what we hoped it would be, I think it's fair to say. But just before the main event, Excalibur done his crazy list of announcements. I won't go through all of them, but there is two that I picked out that I think need highlighting. AEW will be making their Canada debut very soon in Toronto, and the Undisputed Elite will be back on Dynamite next week. And we got the graphic with Adam Cole, etc. Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish, who have all been injured at some point recently. And yeah, man, Undisputed Elite back. That will obviously be interesting. Do you guys have any thoughts at all on either of the things I just mentioned?
No.
Okay.
Shout out to my source who told me about the Canada debut. Nigga hasn't missed yet. Shout out to that nigga. That's all I gotta say. I want to go to that show. Hopefully I can. Toronto's a beautiful fucking city. I'm trying to go up there.
Yeah, man. Both good announcements anyway. Obviously, the Canada thing's obviously pretty long overdue. Is pretty fair to say, I think. Hopefully, this is the first of many, outside of America dates that they do. Obviously, as a UK fan, I want them over here ASAP. So yeah, man. Hopefully, we get some more stuff like that. But yeah, moving on. Main event time. Daniel Garcia versus Bryan Danielson in the main event of a pretty great Dynamite, to be honest. And this was a pretty great way of finishing it off. I'm going to pass it straight to you, Hollywood, because I know this is definitely the kind of match that gets you very fired up. I haven't seen you give it a rating or anything yet, but I'm pretty sure because of the type of match it was, the performance from Garcia, it was definitely elevating because, of course, of the result, but it was just the performance from Garcia was very striking in the role that he had to play. So I want to get your thoughts on the match.
This match fulfilled me on a physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual level. This match did things to me that I didn't know that wrestling could do to me. This match moved me. I took 3 times. I changed my pants. I took my shirt off. Every just twist and turn in this match. Like it was like, guys, please, this is too much. My God, Bryan Danielson. There is no wrestler ever that is definitively better than him. If you want to say that some guys you have a bit above him, so to speak, sure. No one is definitively like, you can't name me any wrestler ever and go, oh, he's definitely a better worker. That's just not true. He is incredible. He is unbelievable. I have never seen somebody in my lifetime just do what he. Thank you, Charlie. He is unreal, and yes, it's a tinge rant. This is why I did this podcast. Really, I don't give a shit about anything we've been talking about. I don't give
2.5 hours in.
Yeah, I don't give two. I'm here for Anna and for Monty and because I'm getting paid and to pimp AO for some money.
Boy, who?
Yeah. and AO's gonna put some dollars in my pocket. But here's the thing. Bryan Danielson is just unbelievable. And we were talking about, genius storytelling and, master storytellers earlier. And we were attributing the people who just stared at each other and said, happy birthday. No, the actual geniuses are the two men involved in this match, Bryan Danielson and Daniel Garcia, quite frankly, because on so many levels, just this match was brilliant. I'm not talking about good. I'm not talking about great. Brilliant. This was a match of the year candidate. Bryan Danielson emerges from his concussion injury and he's angry. He's so mad, right? And the way he beat Garcia, it's like a dude who's beating the shit out of like a teenager who's fucking with his car. Like he was beating him like he owed him money. And we have to stop saying that this guy lays their shit in, that guy lays their shit in, because Bryan Danielson is giving you the benchmark of what it means to lay your shit in. Other guys throw forearms and kicks, right? And them shits is like pillow strikes to this guy. He's beating the shit out of Daniel Garcia. It looked like he's like crushing his windpipe with his kicks in the corner. He came in like a house of fire, like a babyface should, but he did it in a way where it was like, I'm not here to have a fun match, bro. I'm not here to have fun and entertain you. I'm mad at this kid. I hate this kid. I'm taking out all my frustration on him because fuck him and fuck the Jericho Appreciation Society. That's how he worked this match. You didn't even need to know what the storyline was. You're watching it and you're like, God damn, does he owe him money? He's beating his ass and beating his ass and beating his ass and beating his ass.
Counting his fucking hands from here, bro.
But then the ass kicking stopped. Why? Not because Garcia was better than him or stronger than him, but because his head came into play. Bryan Danielson has a concussion. How is he going to deal with this concussion? Oh my God. What are we going to do? Is this real? Is Dragon convulsing in the ring? Oh my, what's going to happen? This is what caused him to retire. Holy shit. All of a sudden the babyface is in jeopardy because of very real physical problems. He exploited his physical fragility in the context of a wrestling match in a way that inspires fear and drama and danger. And then Garcia took that opportunity to regain the upper hand. And here's why I now put over Daniel Garcia, because this was not a one-way street. This was not a carry job by any means or stretch of the imagination. Daniel Garcia became a big fucking boy in this wrestling match because what he did was he had a control segment that wasn't just punching, kicking, headlock. No, what he did was he methodically and meticulously dissected this crippled man, this fragile man. And he did so in such a glacial, sadistic way that reminded me of Randy Orton in his early Viper days. Some people took that as a criticism or, oh, don't compare him to Randy. Shut up. Viper Randy's physical body language was the best thing about him as a performer. This man, Garcia, was just kind of like callously and coldly just grinding this guy. And he was doing so with the same exact Randy Orton body language. This is what I meant when he's starting to find more of his voice, because he's still a technical wrestler and he's still great at doing it, right? But he's also like just a dick. And early on, Garcia, his physical storytelling was like being a punk, right? This indignant little shit. But now he's almost like this Viper. And it's starting to manifest in his performance. And in this match, he's making him bleed and he's choking him out and he's exploiting the head. And it's like, fuck. And it's so methodical. But here's why I say pacing in wrestling and storytelling matters, because the match slowed down, but it didn't get any less interesting. Bryan Danielson is a master of pacing. This never got boring, despite the fact that there was less like explosive offense happening, because you're just watching there concerned for his safety. Garcia's beating him down, and he's wearing down the veteran and wearing him down. But Bryan does the traditional babyface comeback. He's firing back up. His striking is so hard. It is so hard, and it's so fiery, and it's so passionate. But Daniel Garcia has that dog in him too. So they both started beating the hell out of each other. And ultimately, Garcia won the match, which I think is a testament to just Bryan Danielson's unselfishness. It didn't cross my mind that Garcia was winning this at all. I was so surprised. I almost wished that it wasn't even by interference, because Bryan is so good that he can work a match in a way where he's protecting himself in loss just with how he worked the match. You could have easily said he lost to Garcia because, God, he just came back a little too soon. He was so mad at the JAS. He was so pissed off at these guys. He wanted to get back at them so badly. He told Tony Khan, book me against Garcia. I'm going to kill him. And maybe he came back a little too soon. He underestimated the guy he was taking on, and Garcia exploited his weakness.
Yeah,
Daniel, you could have done it that way, and it's a protection. They chose to do the Jake Hager thing. Not
my only criticism, honestly.
A little hokey, whatever. But I thought this was tremendous from a pacing standpoint, from a work standpoint, when it comes to performance. These guys are tremendous. Garcia is becoming a great wrestler. Bryan Danielson is the greatest. This was one of my favorite matches of the year. Garcia has now given me my favorite Bryan Danielson match of the year, singles match, and he's given me my favorite Jon Moxley singles match of the year. So that's a feather in his cap. I think people, if they haven't taken notice, they have to take notice now that this kid is really fucking good, you know? And like you said already, Monty, they capped off the best Dynamite in a while. So that's all I had to say about that. I give this 4 3/4 stars.
Damn.
It was great. Garcia clears the other guy in the JAS. And that's my soliloquy. Thank you.
Both fucking dogs. You don't gotta put two bad bitches up against each other.
I know what's your take on the whole Danielson Garcia thing.
I agree 100% with everything, and maybe that's the first time I'm saying that about a Hangman essay. Oh my god! But I agree. I totally agree. I think it was an amazing match. I didn't see Garcia winning. I would have never thought that they would have him win. So I was really excited. It really popped me, and in the way that it was, except the Jake Hager thing, but Bryan passing out, going back to his injuries, and just Garcia being that killer that I sort of missing him as since he joined the Jericho Appreciation Society. So I really loved it. I think it was one of the best TV matches of the year, if not the best. It was really, really amazing. And Daniel Garcia, he just proved that he's ready, And if he eventually joins the Blackpool Combat Club, I think it's gonna be amazing, because Utah is there and he never beat Bryan or Moxley. So I think, but I really loved it. It was great to see Garcia getting the win, and Bryan sort of felt like a passing the torch moment. I don't know. Bryan just really loves Garcia, and he sees a lot of, I don't know if he sees a lot of him or Garcia, but he really believes in Daniel Garcia, and that just proved it. Yeah.
Definitely.
Great.
Well, of course he wouldn't have put him over if that wasn't the case. I know obviously Tony Khan makes a decision, I guess.
Yeah.
But,
wait, one more thing. Just as a testament to his unselfishness. No, it's just Dragon, like, he's the type of guy that he doesn't, like, wins and losses matter in wrestling, but for him it really doesn't. Because
he just wants to wrestle.
No, because like he can just get over whatever he needs to get over with his work. And so, it's like last year on SmackDown when he just kept losing to Claudio because he just wanted to help Claudio. And it did. It helped Claudio in the short term against, to boost him up for Roman. And it didn't take away from Dragon, because he's just too good. He's too good. Garcia, this means a lot that he got Bryan Danielson to pass out. The one thing I just wanted to add before AO talks about this is that I think AEW having people pass out in submissions is an overused trope. And I think it should be saved for top guys in big moments so that it matters more.
In general.
Because here's the thing, Stone Cold not tapping out to the sharpshooter is a big deal because people tap out to the sharpshooter. If everybody passes out with the bulldog choke, if everybody passes out to the sharpshooter, if everybody passes out to every submission, then the idea of this guy is a tough guy because he didn't tap is null and void, because then no one taps. We need people to tap. I know Tony likes to protect people, and I know he likes to have monsters pass out in submissions so that they don't get pinned. But you have to have people tap so that it's more effective when somebody doesn't. That's why Austin's thing works. So it's just something I wanted to draw out there. Go ahead, Ao.
Bro, it's so fucking cool that like main event Danny Garcia is here now and shit. Cause like I watched Dark and Elevation, and I was watching this nigga Daniel Garcia do jobs to fucking Joey Janela on Dark, bro. No time, like 5 minutes. And like now he's in the fucking main event, fucking making fucking Bryan Danielson pass out and shit. Like, it's dope. Like, you don't really get to see stars like go from literally nothing to something like that. Like, all the pillars, like, they were pushed immediately. Sammy was pushed, Jungle Boy was pushed, Darby was pushed. You know, what was that other dude's name? I don't remember. Anyway, he was pushed though too. And so it's just really cool that fucking main event Daniel Garcia is here now, bro. It's like when he gets his big spots, bro, he always fucking delivers. It's never like, all right, I'm gonna put Garcia here. It's sink or swim. That nigga's always swimming, bro. Like, this shit is dope. Shout out to him. It was one of my favorite. No, it's my favorite Daniel Garcia match all the time and shit. One of my favorite dragon matches in AEW, like singles matches. Probably definitely in the top 5. I give it 4.75. I put it up there with the Hangman and Omega matches. It was a dope ass match. I fucked with it.
It's just great. It's just great.
Daniel Garcia is for the bad bitches. So Tony Khan is really tapping in the women audience.
He's figuring out the formula. One thing I want to add about Bryan Danielson, man. Listen, man. You guys all have your favorites. You have your goats. You have your guys that you think are the rest of the year. Bryan Danielson was just hanging out, letting y'all's faves eat. The first half of the year, he's hanging out in Blackpool Combat Club tags, just being – his baseline is great. You know, him just being in tags.
It's much of like what the Young Bucks did with FTR, just hung out, let them get over for once in their careers, let them, you know, put themselves in conversation for the tag team of the year and shit. Because they just were not there earlier, bro. They weren't. And the Young Bucks was like, look, little bros, look, bald little bro and beard little bro. I'm gonna let you guys eat a little bit. You got some food off my plate, little bros.
Hey, it's cute you said that, but listen. If Bryan Danielson is going to have singles matches, Monty, for the rest of the year, I'm going to tell you right now, this sounds crazy in July. Come December, he will be the wrestler of the year again. Again. He's that good. This was a match of the year candidate in July, right? Literally, think about this. Imagine if he compiles 15 more of these.
Wow, it's definitely on the cards if he does have the singles run. I think I'm ready for it as well, to be honest.
The
Blackpool Combat Club stuff has been like real fun, of course. Like, you know, it's just got star-studded with people that I like I love it. But the treat of having Danielson wrestle single matches nearly every week on Dynamite was a really, really big pull for me. So hopefully we get more of it, like you said. He can definitely mount himself a rest of the year contender.
To go back to Garcia real fast. I know his whole thing right now. Like, we're not supposed to fucking like it. We're not supposed to like the kangaroo hat and shit. Like, I understand that, but like, I feel like his presentation is taking a step back with the new music, which is not as good, with the black towel, which is not as good as the red towel. There's not Red Death anymore and shit. Like, Garcia, bro. Strong arm that nigga Tony Khan, bro. That nigga can't tell you what to do. Make that nigga tell me, give me your music back. Give me your red towel back, bro.
But on Garcia. No, go on, get your point.
No, Red Towel, Garcia, Red Death. Honestly, not even just that. Just more. I think like in Limitless Wrestling, for example, he was really able to showcase his style when it comes to like how he dresses and stuff like that. Because he's a New York kid, you know what I mean. And I'd like to see more of that kind of on television. But what I also want to say is, you know, I think Tony realized like that he can't take Danielson for granted when he lost him for this 6 weeks, you know, because you really miss his presence when he's not there. And I think he realizes now, like, I gotta have him wrestling as much as possible because God knows what's gonna happen to him and when he's gonna stop doing this. So like I need to just get the most out of Bryan Danielson for as long as I have him. And that means like, yeah, I mean, tags are cool, but if I can get him in these special moments in singles matches, I'm gonna do that as much as possible. So I'm looking forward to seeing that on TV.
But yeah, on Danielson Garcia, it was just like I said, it was very striking to see how like the viciousness of what Garcia was. I think the Randy Orton comparison definitely fits. But I mentioned about the Utah match as well. That especially like recently, like he's kind of found this mode of viciousness and kind of sadistic heel, just really aggressive. He's always been aggressive and a stretcher, but there's like the way that he was pulling on and working Utah's ear the other day, and I even said to you, Hollywood, that considering Utah's the Blackpool Combat guy, Garcia definitely wrestled more like a Blackpool Combat guy in that match, like 1,000,000%. The headbutts, the like the little dirty tactics and all that sort of stuff. Regal was popping huge on commentary, and obviously you made the point where it's like that's just kind of how Daniel Garcia just kind of naturally is, in contrast to Utah. Then in this match as well, there was kind of just like that extra level of viciousness, and you throw that together with Danielson's ability to just make you feel drama. Like the way that he took that bump when he done the drop kick from the top of the ropes, when they started playing on the concussion stuff, like the way he took the bump and the way he sold it was literally like perfect, because it wasn't like Daniel Garcia hit him with an elbow strike or he kicked him in the head and it was like blatant. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't some blatant play acting, Daniel Garcia's hit him in the head and now he's going to sell it. It was like, it really felt like something that you could have bought into, obviously, like for the sake of the drama, I went along for the ride, but obviously not after too long. It was pretty obvious that, Danielson was fine with some of the moves he was doing and stuff, like he'd done a dive, etc., etc. But I just think the way that he builds the drama around these moments and tries to give it kind of more of a realistic feel is just a testament to kind of what Hollywood said. He genuinely is probably the greatest wrestler ever, and it would be very hard to say someone is blatantly better than him. Like you can say, like people were saying in the chat, like you've got your AJ Styles, Shawn Michaels, everyone's got like Okada, Tana. There's loads and loads of names in the conversation. But
AJ Styles is not better than Bryan Danielson, and he is not even in the same tier. He's slightly below. AJ at his prime was incredible. He was tremendous in his own right. AJ Styles is a A+ professional wrestler. Bryan Danielson is in the S class that only maybe 4 to 8 other guys are in.
Yeah, like I said, there's all kinds of people that everyone's got their goats,
Yes.
But that, like you were saying, honestly, when it comes to Danielson, there's not really any. There's no one you can say like he's.
Okada is also not better than Bryan Danielson. Thank you.
Yeah, whatever, bro.
He's not.
Bro, we're not doing. No, but even if you think
I like Okada. I like the way he makes.
It's not that I don't agree with you, bro. It's not that I don't agree with you. I'm just saying. Like, we don't need to
bring somebody up to say, oh yeah, they're better than Okada.
No. It's because he was reading the comment and that comment said Okada. Okada's tremendous, but that's like saying,
Hollywood. 1 second, no, bro. We don't need to do this where it's like every time I bring up, you say, oh well, Danielson's better. Like, I'm just saying, people have their goats, and people have who they like. But when it comes to Danielson,
all I know is everybody that was named right now is better than CM Punk. All right, continue.
Yeah, no, but I think it is fair to say that there's no one who's like clear of Danielson, regardless of what you think. Like even if you goats the Undertaker or John Cena or one of those sort of guys, like Danielson's special, man. And I think when we look back at his resume, especially for for the next group of young fans who are coming up who might not get the pleasure of seeing Danielson live, like they'll look back on that resume and some of his matches and it'll be almost like alien to them. Same with the books, really, to be honest, because the resumes are just so long, people probably look at them and be like, what the fuck? Like, I'm not a big cage match rating guys, but I can imagine that both of those Bucks and Danielson have both got like an unlimited amount of matches rated like 8.5 or higher. So the resumes are ridiculous. Danielson's clearly in the conversation of being the greatest of all time. Garcia's really showing a level of I think it's fair to say like maturity, understanding the role that he had to play and over delivering, I'd say, to be honest. It was great stuff, and I'll tip my hat to Tony Khan as well for having the balls to do that in the main event on Danielson's return. But like I said, the only thing that I kind of had against it was the it was a little bit of a shitty finish, to be honest. With the Hager involvement, like, what was Hager just chilling, just waiting under the ring like all night or whatever you want? What was the kayfabe reason for that? Not reason for it, obviously it was to help Garcia, but it was just kind of silly, in a match that was far from, But yeah, Dynamite. I thought Dynamite overall, it was a great show. Honestly, a lot better than what they've done in recent weeks. It had a lot of hot angles. It had a lot of good storytelling. A lot of talent got elevated. It had a lot of like real, legitimate highlight moments that if your friend asked you what happened on Dynamite, you could give them a legit list of great things that happened and things that stood out. And on top of that, you also got what you always get weekly with AEW, which is great wrestling. So, some of these shows do sometimes go by and it's just kind of like match, backstage promo match. But this one really felt like it had some juice to it. And to go back to AO's point that he made at the start about the how Tony Khan is kind of allowed to focus and let AEW Dynamite like breathe a bit more now that he hasn't got to focus on Ring of Honor and Forbidden Door. I definitely think that is kind of a fair point to bring up. But also, on the other hand, to Hollywood's point, Tony Khan definitely does perform more when his back's up against the wall and he's triggered, etc., etc. So I just thought the combination of all those things led to Tony Khan putting on a really brilliant show, and hopefully it is it's the start of a trend of things to come. And the shows continue to be at this level. There's a lot of interesting things coming out of this show as well, where we're wondering what will happen next. And I think that's an important thing that AEW don't always hit, because as Dynamite fans, I think it's fair to assume that we're probably going to watch every episode and we're going to be excited for them because we know there is that chance that we're going to get a 12 out of 10 show. But in terms of actual like hooks and stuff like that, there was a lot of those leaving this show, and I just thought it was honestly really impressive all round, and kind of had minimal low points, and none of them were wrestle crap at all. Like, say for example, like Miyu versus Thunder Rosa, like that wasn't like horrendously offensively bad or anything. It just didn't click, and that happens sometimes. Like, no show is going to be perfect from start to finish, but this was a really great show. So yeah, man, happy with it. Do you guys have anything to add?
That's about it.
We all good? All right. So yeah, I think that unless there's any other subjects that you want to quickly go over, I think we are done here. We're nearly at 3 hours. This might be the longest podcast we've done.
Are we gonna address the elephant in the room, Hangman, with Arm Boy and this PWI story?
No, I think it's too much to get into. It's too long of a discussion, and we need more details. So, you know what we could do, Monty, if there is time. Maybe we could do a not today, not today. Fuck that. Okay. I'm not going longer on this, bro. I meant like what are we talking about? No, I was gonna say we could maybe get the crew together for a pre-SummerSlam podcast if possible, and then we'll discuss the broader topics of the rest of the world.
You're the one who's always working.
Yeah.
You tell me Mondays and Thursdays. I'm always here. Monday.
I'll tell you what. I do have the pen. I am the secret booker and owner of WrestlePurists. So yeah,
did you just get strong arm today?
I don't know what you're talking about, but I hold the keys to the kingdom, and I will try to get something, Monty, either Friday morning or Saturday morning. So I'll give you that.
All since we're wrapping up, kayfabe beef with Hangman aside, want to appreciate Monty, appreciate Ibu for bringing me up on their platform and shit. It was a lot of fun, man. I'm usually in the gym at this time. Well, earlier, like I'm usually in the gym at like 6, but I'm gonna try to be on more like when I can and shit. It's a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Appreciate everybody in the chat who was fucking with me. Anna, you were fantastic. Yeah. Follow a real nigga on Twitter, bro. It's King AO. X instead of a I. Best Twitter account out here, bro. Shit's on Hangman.
Anna, you got anything to plug before we get out of here?
Not really. I just want to thank you guys for calling me back. If you need me back again, I'll be here. So just follow me on Twitter. Yeah. I'll be commentating the 5-star Grand Prix from Stardom. Wow. So watch Stardom. So just follow me on Twitter for that. Yeah.
Hollywood, you got anything to plug before we get out of here?
No, but I do have some parting words. Anna, like AO said, you were sensational. You're doing so good on this platform, and I'm just so happy for you. And I'm really happy that you are under our umbrella, just being great at what you do. So thank you for gracing us with your presence for the second consecutive week. I anticipate this being a regular occurrence as long as you give us your time. Monty, you know what I'm saying? Good stuff as always. Lil AO, you did a good job. You did a good job
bro, you got
tonight.
Me fucked up, bro. It's not this nigga's platform. The beef is not kayfabe. Monty got his hand up in man's ass like a fucking puppy, and he just works his dumbass mouth like a puppy. So everything that you hear Hangman say, the shit that gets over, is really Monty. Everything else,
it's really Monty's
dumbass fucking
idea. In all seriousness, look, AO did a great job. It's good that he was able to bring what he provides to Twitter onto to WrestlePurists. It's been a long time coming, so I anticipate him being here further. So just stay tuned for everything that comes up. Everybody, follow me at Backup Hangman. If you decided to listen to all 3 hours of this podcast, God bless you. I hope we did our best to entertain you throughout the time of this podcast. And with that said, I just appreciate everybody and I thank everyone. And yeah, man.
Of course.
All right.
Obviously, big thanks to Big AO making his WrestlePurists debut. It's probably overdue, to be honest. But
yeah,
we made it and we went 3 hours with it, and I'm sure it's not going to be the last time we see him on here. It was great to have him. Anna, as always, we've got two new stars.
Absolutely,
the fans in the live chat like. Everyone loved Anna last week. Everyone's loved Anna this week as well. The new people who have tuned in, and AO has got over huge in the chat.
I know talent, man. I'm Paul Heyman, bro.
Yeah. Hollywood makes some good recruitment sometimes.
Absolutely.
I'll give it to him. And to what Hollywood said as well, if you did stay around for 3 hours of this podcast, God bless you and thank you very much. If you're not subscribed and you've just given us 3 hours, what are you doing? Please subscribe, like the video, and we will be back later on in the week. Maybe we'll do the SummerSlam preview show that Hollywood just mentioned. We'll see how that goes, if we can get something sorted for that. But yeah, man, thanks for listening, and we will be back very, very soon.